think like ballpark.
Yeah.
100 grand for a kidney on the black market.
100 grand is so much. Such a steal for a kidney.
And listen, if you're a black market organ donor and or seller, tell us if we're like on the mark here as to whether or not how much a kidney costs. Are you going to Google?
I'm going to Google
how much you can get?
I'm going to Google it. Lock the doors because the FBI will be coming.
There's actually no locks on either of these doors, but I can slide against it.
How much is a kidney?
I would just say, how much do organs sell for? Question mark.
That's a way sketchier question than I was
Absolutely,
gonna
but listen, if you're looking at a whole body.
How much do organs sell for in Korea?
Whoa, okay. Does Korea have a popping black market like?
Patients, many of whom will go to China, India, or Pakistan for surgery, can pay up to $200K for kidneys. Oh, so they'll...
Why would you outsource your kidney surgery?
Gangs who harvest organs from vulnerable people, sometimes for as little as $5K. Sounds like you're not making a great... Sounds like the markup is whack.
No. If I'm going to China and I'm still spending $200,000 on a kidney...
Yeah, that's for a kidney to get one.
I better be like... The seller might like should be at least getting like 100 grand there.
I wonder if it's just harder to get a kidney here. Here's what all your organs and parts are worth on the black market.
That's the article we need.
Finally, here we go. Okay, kidneys, $200,000.
No way. Each?
There's no... Oh, wait. I didn't think about that. Approximately $200K. Most people who need a kidney transplant do... Yeah, one kidney is $200K because you can't not have both, right?
You can't not have... I mean, unless you want to do dialysis for the rest of your life.
That's such a steal.
No,
I can't believe
it's not.
I can't believe so many people have two kidneys. 200,000.
Why would you risk like you can have two eyeballs and you're like, wow, I love having two eyeballs. Then you get a baseball to one of your eyes and you're like, cool, at least I can still see. If you go through kidney failure and you lose the one kidney because you decided you wanted the Lucid Platinum or Lucid Emerald or whatever the hell it's called, it's an electric car, it's very fast, it's very nice.
What relatable content?
What would you even spend 200 grand on? If not, I don't know, my blood being clean.
Hey, guess what, bozo? You invest in your own black market trading deal. I invest in assassins. I invest in repo men to go steal more kidneys for me to sell.
So you start one kidney down.
Yes. So that I'm a man of the people.
See,
that I'm in the nitty gritty of it.
Okay, well, absolutely, that's hands-on experience.
Yes.
You put that on the resume, you're like,
I've been through it.
Absolutely.
I've been through it.
That's that's very accurate. By the way, we got $20. I appreciate you guys. What's your guys' top 5 favorite anime? Ian, we'll get to that in a second. Thank you, Ian, for the $20. Very nice of you.
Thank you so much.
We'll do that after our cold open. That's actually a good draft. Anyways. It's hands-on experience.
Yeah.
You got your resume all pat down. Good for you. I appreciate wanting to get your hands literally dirty with blood before starting an empire.
Yes.
Biggest problem here, you're assuming you wake up from the operation.
Why wouldn't I wake up from the operation? Oh man, these are accredited black market doctors.
Hey man, I'll sell you my kidney, $200K, and then I'm like, yeah, okay. We gotta put you under for this though, because we're cutting your fucking kidney out. And then boom, you have no heart. And it's Crank 2 and you're Jason Statham.
That never occurred to me that they would just put you under and take all the organs.
Steal all your organs?
Okay, I bring backup. I bring you. You come with me. Are you kidding me? We'll make a whole day of it. You're not going to come with me to my kidney transplant?
Because I'm just like loaded with guns and kung fu experience?
I'd come with you to your tattoo getting. Why won't you come with me to get my kidney taken and sold?
When have you ever been with me?
What have you asked? My dude, I'd come.
How many times? I haven't had that many tattoos recently. Wow, I'm actually.
Don't ask, please. It sounds not fun.
It's like 8 hours. Yeah, you with your Steam Deck. Like, we done yet? I got reaction videos to video here. Come on.
Relax.
I have to go pause and animate and make people upset. I have to go watch Soul Eater 6 seconds at a time.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah. So, anyways, if you are a nice organ donor, Danny wants 200,000. If you're like a nice black market organ,
if you're one of the cool ones.
Yeah. So Danny wants to get sedated and wake up with 200K.
What about a liver? Do I need a liver?
You can cut off. Okay, so your liver regenerates, so you can cut off parts of your liver, but you can't lose the entire thing.
Whoa.
Yeah, your liver is like very regenerative.
Whoa,
so you could sell like half a liver, and they might be able to culture that into like a full liver for somebody else, but only if they're like a blood match for you.
Look, I know you're gonna be a real bitch about this one. I know you're gonna be a real pussy about this. Try not to be.
I swear to God, if you're like, let's sell my heart.
Do I need my heart?
Yes, 1,000%. Like, you have no idea. Like, okay,
how much do you think a heart is worth?
I'm going to say 600 grand.
119,000. Significantly less than a kidney.
How is a heart less than a kidney?
I think because they know people are less willing to do it.
Because there's no market?
Yeah, there's no market. There's no heart market.
There's no, we have, by the way, like for all of you out there who are currently being like, oh, what do I need? What do I not? We have no alternatives for hearts yet. We've tried putting pig hearts in people. They've lived for like 3 days. They die.
Yep.
We have artificial hearts. They last for like a day. They basically are only to like keep you alive until you get a heart in a heart transplant. Because for a heart transplant, they have to cut your heart out, put an artificial heart out. I actually know the guy who invented the artificial heart. He was my physics teacher in high school.
Wow,
And
it sounds like he wasn't very good at it, huh?
he was great at it. He invented
don't
one of the
work.
he invented one of the valves they use on the artificial heart, and now he's like coasting off that money and just teaching. Super great guy.
What
Shout
about,
out
like-
to Tom Flinders.
What about like a, like a potato with a clock in it? They try that one?
Yeah. Well, no, that's actually electricity. Yeah, because
Yeah.
potatoes have a small amount of electricity
Yeah.
running through them. So no.
No,
there's
that wouldn't work.
There's no alternatives to having a heart, so you will not sell it.
I don't
sell,
under-
I think I sell for a good amount.
You sell my heart?
No,
eyes.
Eyes.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'd sell
I
it.
sell yours.
Corneas are $30K.
That's not bad.
That's not good.
I mean, listen. If there's one thing, if somebody was torturing me, and I don't want to like give people advice on how to torture me. You go for my eyes. I'm giving up any information whatsoever. I love seeing.
I
I'm
know.
such a big
That's
fan
what
of
I'm
seeing.
saying. Wouldn't you want more money to
I
give
would
it
rather
up?
lose my hearing, my scent, sound, anything like any of.
Yeah.
I'd rather lose my sense of touch.
Yeah.
Than lose my sense of.
I
like,
agree.
My eyesight.
30K is not enough for me.
For
And
one
I'm,
eye?
I'm ready to sell my kidney the second I leave here. One
200K
eye.
is too much money for a kidney.
It's a bargain.
I know.
It's a good deal.
For you?
What are you, pro-capitalist here?
Sort of.
You pro-black market
You gotta
here?
assume that there's. Well, I can't imagine a kidney actually sells for 200K because if that was like real, people be hawking them left,
That's
right,
what
and
I'm
center.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
All right,
Why does everyone have so many goddamn kidneys?
That's what I'm saying. If you're in debt, quit being a pussy.
yeah.
Like that's,
You'll get over it.
well, that's what. Listen, there's a clear avenue out.
Yeah.
Just go to the black market. It has a physical location.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where it is. It's behind Sprouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a second to think about like a crunchy grocery store. It's behind Sprouts. That's where the black market is. Find a guy named Enrique and he'll cut your kidney out for 200 grand.
That's why I don't respect today's lazy American youth. They're all complaining capitalism.
Nice. It's about time we went on our white guy podcast arc.
They're all like, capitalism is so bad, it's weighing me down, politicians are all corrupt. Meanwhile, they don't want to work. They don't want to sell a kidney. They don't want to sell their bodies.
Listen, I wake up at 4 a.m. every morning and sell a kidney.
Yeah.
You don't need sleep or kidneys. That's a capitalist lie to keep you down, propagated by the soy boy beta males.
Amen. Amen, brother.
God,
Amen.
I'm so sick of these soft boys getting
Say
pegged
it.
by their gamer girlfriends.
Say
Oh, you
it.
want a muscle mommy? I want my muscles cut out of me and sold on the black market.
Well, you couldn't say that in this culture.
I know.
Yeah.
They want to cancel me, man.
You say what we're all thinking.
Listen, I'm sick of being the most repressed voice on the internet.
yeah. Sell your kidneys, pussies.
Sell your kidneys.
Danny Motta.
Speaking of things that are on sale,
Huh?
your other cold opening was about Macy's what?
Not a
Thanksgiving.
transition.
They sell things.
Speaking of turtles,
Fuck, I should have said
Thanksgiving.
I should have said
like, what?
Fuck, I should have said the black market was behind Macy's. It would have been such a good segue.
Yeah, that would have been way better. Also,
damn
Black
it.
Friday.
Also,
You think the black market has a banging Black Friday deal?
do you sell for less on Black Friday or do they buy for more? Or you buy
Oh.
organs for less?
Well, no, people buy stuff on the black market. So yeah, they sell for less.
Does Silk Road still exist? I don't think it does.
Where you should buy drugs online.
And guns.
Yeah,
you could
drugs and guns.
There was a time you could go to the
Explain briefly what Silk Road is. yeah.
For those of you who aren't old enough, that is, I feel like if you're over 23, you know what Silk Road is. Under
It's
23,
a window, though.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one who's 40 knows what Silk Road is.
Yeah, so I'd say 29 to 22 currently probably knows what Silk Road is.
Yeah.
There was a time in the early nascent periods of like the real black market, which was on the internet. You needed
Yeah,
an onion
the dark web.
The dark web. You needed
Yeah.
an onion browser to get there. This is like before the dark web got commoditized and it was like still unknown. The FBI didn't know how to get there.
Those dumb liberal snowflakes
then
got their mitts on
and then
it.
they put a Starbucks on the Silk Road and rent went up. And so, anyways, there was a website on the dark web called the Silk Road, and in the Silk Road you could buy acid, cocaine, weed, ecstasy, any drug you ever wanted in the history of drugs. But there was also a subsection of the Silk Road called the Armory, where you could buy weapons, real life weapons. That part got shut down pretty quickly because they were like, wow, sending a gun through UPS, not great. The problem with Silk Road is if you put your real address and your real name on anything, they intercept the package, guess who's going to jail for ordering a kilo of coke off the internet.
I like how you're like, that's the problem with the Silk Road.
Yeah, well, like that, that and like the massive children getting their hands on
its existence.
Also like children getting their hands on drugs. Definitely never used it.
Yeah.
This guy.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Whoa!
I took acid off the Silk Road in college.
You would actually buy stuff off that.
It wasn't me, but my buddy was like, yeah, we ordered a bunch of acid off the Silk Road. And I was like, fuck yeah, it's my buddy's 22nd birthday. Let's do it.
That's like rule 1 of using the dark web is you don't actually use the dark web.
Wasn't me.
You psychopath.
I simply was handed, it was given to me by extension.
Show up every time with like one less finger. And he's like, yeah, here we go. I got the acid.
He was like, yeah, I just got a bunch of Bitcoin. I've just been buying drugs with it. And I was like, fucking do it.
Don't ask about my mittens.
Also, before weed was legalized in Massachusetts, my buddy had this one guy who was like, there was like this underground weed delivery system, and they would give you an Easter egg filled with weed. Basically, the Easter man would show up and he would come to your house and drop off a little egg, and there'd be weed in it.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was wild time.
That's terrifying.
But also, we got legalized in Boston and Massachusetts while I was in college. So
making drugs lame.
Boo, my grandfather spent millions of dollars to get weed legalized in America. It's actually true.
Thanksgiving Day, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, or as I call it, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Tournament. Every year, Macy's holds a tournament on Thanksgiving where they invite the world's top fighters. I'm talking Snoopy. I'm talking Pikachu. I'm talking most Power Rangers and Goku. Goku's been showing up since 2018. Pikachu's been showing up since 2001. Snoopy has been the reigning champion since 1973.
We've been doing that parade that long?
Since 1923, we've been doing the parade.
They had balloons in 1923?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it might have just been like a couple people with a little balloons.
They had balloons and they still went through the Depression?
Yeah. I know.
Why didn't they look at a balloon?
Yeah, smile.
Smile.
Smile a little, bitch.
Jesus fucking Christ. You know what? The Greatest Generation, that's where the soy boy beta male problem started.
The Macy's Day Tournament is truly, genuinely our planet's proudest tournament.
Okay.
This year, I can't believe you haven't heard of this. This year...
I mean, I've heard of the Macy Days Thanksgiving parade.
I can't believe you haven't heard of what I'm about to say.
Gotcha.
This year, Luffy showed up.
Crazy.
Luffy entered the tournament.
Gear 5?
Gear 3. That was his mistake.
What are we doing here?
Makes it around 5 or 6 blocks. Pops.
What
a
pussy.
What a pussy. What a bitch. Pikachu never popped. Snoopy never popped. Goku hasn't popped yet. Here's the thing. In Luffy's defense, rookie mistakes were made. Goku showed up Super Saiyan Blue. Snoopy was in his Dog Scout form. Pikachu brought Eevee this year. Competition was tough.
I just think you got to understand, though, heading into a competition like this, you got to bring your best from the opening. If you're like, oh, I'm going to play myself into shape, I'm going to get warm as the tournament goes on. No, you got to warm up before. You got to get into a couple of smaller tournaments leading up to the Macy's Day Parade, and you just didn't know that.
That's so funny because that is how anime handles tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
They always they're like, I'll warm up the first couple rounds.
Yeah.
Bitch, they're all trying hard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
they don't send you the weak guys in the beginning on purpose.
I'll just roll out of bed and just hop into this tournament. No.
Yeah.
And it's also like it's such a thing in anime where they're like, oh, I can't use my strongest move yet. Yeah. They're like, I'll get tired. Not me.
Yeah, just do it.
I just do it. Yeah, it's Ichigo to a T, where he's like, oh, I can't use my Bankai form for longer than 5 minutes. I have to beat Okiora and Grimmjow with my regular form. And then he's like trying to beat all these Arankars, like lower rank Arankars whose names I'm forgetting right now. They're like the 100 numbers. And he's like, I can't use my strongest form. And he's just like, for 30 episodes, getting the shit kicked out of him. And he's like, all right, fine. I'll use my strongest mode. And then he uses his strongest mode and wins in like 3 minutes. And it was like, open with that.
Yeah, clean these guys up, wait while the other, recharge while the other contestants are fighting. Yeah. Do it again.
Yeah.
But so I made a video about this, breaking this news, saying how it definitively proves that Luffy is the weakest shonen MC.
Absolutely.
Because he lost the tournament.
Yeah.
What other method do we have of power scaling than an actual tournament.
Oh, you want me to watch the fake show?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We bring these characters to life for one day in one day alone a year. And if they can't perform under those circumstances, what kind of resume are we talking about here?
What is weakness if not that?
Exactly.
So I made this video and I'm like, Luffy's the weakest MC. He lost the tournament.
Yeah.
I explained the balloon situation. The comments were not having it.
Did not pass
We're
the
not
vibe check
having
at
it.
all. Yeah.
I got, bro, it's a balloon, like, calm down. Motherfuckers be using any excuse to call an anime character weak. I got a lot of bro saying that Luffy is a balloon is weak. No shit, Sherlock. It's a balloon.
I just like you have to.
You're so childish. It's a balloon. I know. Like, I do know it's a balloon.
You're genuinely
Right?
you're just like, oh my god, Luffy?
Yeah.
Look, he's way bigger than I thought he would be.
Like,
Why are people holding him? Actually, why is he in New York?
Yeah. Run, Luffy! I popped him.
Yeah, it's like BB gunning him. You're like, I'm about to prove you're the weakest shonen MC.
Yeah, I'm about to take this bitch
Luffy.
down.
Yeah. Wasn't me. I'm a patsy. I'm a patsy.
But yeah, it's like, so there's so much discourse in the comments that I jokingly was like, I wonder if this would happen. Like, in my mind, I was like, I wonder if people would be upset about this. They were.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Welcome to every day of my life.
Yeah.
You make a silly little joke and people just like somehow just don't get it. And it's like, have you heard?
It's
Have
so
you heard
funny.
humor?
It's so fun. They
Like,
haven't.
Is this your first trip of like somebody like say like they're Drax? They're literally Drax. They're like, what do you mean by that?
Imagine being a One Piece fan and not knowing humor.
Yeah.
Imagine.
It's like half of the show.
Yeah.
Like anytime Luffy's not running after a villain or actively in like battling against them, he's a walking shtick.
Yeah, he's making bits.
He's doing
doing
bits.
goofs.
He's a huge bits guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
So, I think Snoopy won again. He was in his dog scout.
Wait, so they
form.
actually vote?
No, they don't vote.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. I was like, I mean, that would kind of make sense.
That'd be
vote
hype.
Vote on
That'd
the
be
best
cool.
balloon.
No, but Luffy popping was like unbelievably exciting for me, and I hope the power scaling community.
Oh, I'm sure. Listen, if you understand that balloons aren't actually a representation of your character's favorite strength, then congratulations. One, you're emotionally like available and adjusted. And two, you can now go yell about how Wano is the strongest version of any MC character ever. So
Yeah. I'm going to be bringing this up anytime somebody power scales Luffy, though.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime.
You're like,
I'm gonna be like, remember the balloon?
So Gear 5 does give him Toon Force. Why did he pop at
Yeah.
Macy's Day? Oh my God, you'll drive them up a wall.
Yeah.
And just be dead serious about it. Like get into lives on TikTok where people are like screaming at each other about the size of the One Piece planet and how it makes characters 3 times stronger from the Naruto world because the Naruto world's, because gravity. Because gravity or some shit.
That's Dragon Ball logic.
Because that's how far we've come, apparently. And so just be like, yeah. How many of these MCs have popped at Macy's Day Parade?
Yeah.
And just scream.
How many MCs could beat Tree-kun? Because a tree took him down.
Was it actually
That's what
a tree?
happened. He ran into a tree. That's why I want next year. I want him to come Gear 5 or Gear 4. Next year's Gear 4, then Gear 5. And by the time he gets to Gear 5, I want them to just like bulldoze through Central Park. Just bulldoze through Central Park, take down every tree with this reinforced like tire rubber Luffy.
You know what we have to do?
What?
It's now become our moral obligation to shoot Luffy down every year. We have to be the motherfuckers.
I'm gonna be there with a crossbow.
Just run. Just like have a flight a half hour after you fire your shot and just get straight to JFK.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's called JFK.
Yeah. That's why they call it that, because you can lickety split out of there the second you assassinate someone.
Technically, right? If we were to try and
Technically, we're joking.
Listen, I cannot tell you to kill the president of the United States.
Can't do it.
But
if it were to happen.
The best shot would be from here.
Yeah.
So we're not galvanizing you guys to shoot Luffy down every single year. But if you were going to do it, a crossbow would do the job, and it's silent and basically untraceable.
But if you're a real Dragon Ball fan, you would.
Yeah.
You would do it.
I'm not I'm not trying to say like if Goku runs a train on like absolutely has a legacy of never popping.
Yeah.
But Luffy does.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Toon Force where?
Yeah.
Especially Gear 5?
Yeah. Fucking solos.
Like
That's what I want. I want at the end of the parade. Because why not do this? What, safety?
Yeah.
Fuck off, pussies.
Yeah,
all,
right.
all these 2 kidney pussies. At the end of the parade.
have a kidney donation center.
No.
Oh.
Donation? 200 grand a pop.
It's
And
Thanksgiving.
you're giving these away?
Be thankful.
No chance.
Okay.
At the end of the parade, keep all the balloons inflated. Do a literal tournament. You have like 90, it takes 90 people to control these things.
90?
I did so much research. All the dates I gave you were real about the balloons.
That's wild.
It takes 90
You're
people.
power scaling balloons.
I
You
am.
become the thing you hate.
That's what I become the thing you hate.
You become me.
I don't mind power scaling.
Which is actually accurate.
Yeah. It takes 90 people to control a balloon. I want at the end of the parade, you get 90 people on one balloon, 90 on the other, and they just sprint at each other. And whichever balloon comes down first
Or up.
comes up.
Well, it's because so 90 people are sprinting at 90 people.
Oh, and
there's
they
also a
lose
fight.
track and it goes flying.
There's also a fight on the bottom layer, and then you get 3 dudes who are trying to hold on Goku, and they just fly away.
You have a crossbowman for that.
That would
in
be
case.
that would be all. Yeah, just like get him down, get him down.
Get him down the ring.
That's where we
He's
come
headed
in.
for the satellite.
We're just like in LA, just like, is that fucking Luffy? Just like, help! We filled it with really good helium.
Yeah. Everyone away from the space needle.
Or aim for the space needle.
Aim for the space
As
needle.
well as you have a battle on the bottom floor and the top floor. What you do though,
Yeah.
you give the balloons knives. You give the balloons knives.
Yeah.
You ever
Like,
see-
or a big joust thing.
Yes.
Yeah, a big javelin.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, Macy, they holding on to these balloons to save them for next year?
Yeah, I think.
Oh. Just patch it. Literally just put a patch on it. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
So, long story short, Luffy is the weakest MC in the history of MCs.
Yeah. Agree.
Half of his abilities are balloon based. You would think if
Literally
anybody would
proven.
figure it out, it would
Yeah.
be Luffy. But
you would think.
What a
you
pussy.
think he'd be prepared specifically.
don't watch One Piece. Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
Don't even watch One Piece.
It's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time.
At any moment, a tree could fuck up Luffy. At any moment, the show could be over.
Genuinely, like, what's worth watching from that? Future Nick here to let you all know that me and Danny have created a Patreon, Otakus Anonymous Patreon, where you can get 2 additional videos from me and Danny every single month. Yes, that's at least 2 extra hours of Nick and Danny time every single month. Now, throughout this episode, there's going to be a couple of times where me and Danny talk about this Patreon. However, what me and Danny didn't know about Patreon versus YouTube memberships, as, we were talking on the podcast, is that the split between Patreon and YouTube memberships are drastically different. See, YouTube takes about 30% of all money made through memberships, while Patreon takes about 8%. And since we want your hard-earned support dollars coming to me and Danny and not the pockets of billion-dollar conglomerates, we are currently in the process of trying to figure out how to live stream on Patreon, as opposed to YouTube membership. But don't freak out if you have YouTube memberships. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, we're not even trying a live stream on Patreon for at least a month. See, figuring out a members-only stream on YouTube, really easy. Neither me nor Danny have ever tried to live stream on Patreon. However, as we were recording the podcast just yesterday, many people resubscribed as YouTube members, and we want to make sure that those people aren't swindled out of their money. But this also isn't to say that we're dropping YouTube memberships, as the plan had always been to post the additional content to both YouTube members and Patreon members, with the one difference being wherever we live stream to. And while the original plan was to stream to YouTube members and just keep the videos over on Patreon, because of the splits, me and Danny have more decided that Patreon would be better for us and you. And actually, mid filming this video, I figured out how to live stream on Patreon. It's very easy. So in close to 1 month's time, we're gonna try a live stream over there. And if it works, we'll slowly begin to migrate our live streams to Patreon. Now, if we can do a way to do live streams on both YouTube memberships and Patreon, lovely. But once again, we're incredibly thankful for any support you decide to give us, so we want to make sure that the money you decide to support us with isn't going into the pockets of some of the biggest companies on earth. Listen, the CEO of Patreon is a close personal friend. He doesn't need more money. I know he's not watching this, but Sam, if you are, you know that's true. So keep in mind when I said when younger Nick is spouting his mouth about YouTube memberships and Patreon. Bye!
Speaking of shows being over, we'll get into it later. Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter?
Yeah, the ending?
Yeah, it's just super my flashback, but
Oh.
yeah. What are you eating?
Go on.
Is that a honey stick?
Go on.
Is that for your throat?
It's just, nutrients.
Where does nutrients? Do you know? Top of your head. What nutrients are in honey?
Vitamin B. Bees.
That was. Here's the thing. One, I don't know what vitamins are in it. Genuinely, I'm willing to give you that one. That was quick. That was very good. It's literally just sugar, but I do. That was awesome. I love that. All right, let's get into what we're talking about this week. A lot happened this week. Me and Danny decided to split off and watch some separate things this week. Danny watched Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I watched Blue-Eyed Samurai.
Yeah.
Do we want to get into our alternative watches first?
Sure. Tell me about Blue Eyes. I called it Blue Lock Samurai.
Blue Lock Samurai. Yeah, they just give everybody a sword. Yeah, a lot less people are dropping out.
It's the same show, but at the end, they have some shogun come in and just behead every member.
Usagi, yeah. That would be, listen, it would be like Squid Games, but soccer.
Yeah.
You get dropped out, you just get fucking killed. Yeah. That'd be pretty good.
Cool.
We should make Blue Lock Samurai.
Blue-eyed white lock samurai.
Yes, yeah. And then there's trap cards everywhere.
A lot of people want it to be the Hunger Games. And by a lot of people, I mean, I heard Trash Taste say it once. But, like, that, I know.
I love us hopping on Trash Takes with, like, just watching the TikToks.
I know.
Because we don't watch their actual podcast. And we're like, oh, they hate Chainsaw Man. It's like, actually, they don't.
I just saw a TikTok where the redheaded guy was like, I know. What, the redheaded one?
The only white dude?
Yeah.
Connor.
Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah.
Nice. See, we know them.
Yeah.
Where he was just like, I wish Blue Lock, I wish they died at the end.
That would be sick.
And I was like, I get it.
Oh, for sure.
I understand. My
They're
roommate
animated
Josh
characters.
also feels that way, but
that would be wild. They'd be like, oh, it's like Chigiri, no, pass it. And he like re-tears his ACL. And the dude just comes out like he's putting a horse down. You're like,
Chigiri's just like crawling. No, I can play. I can play.
I can still do headers. I can still. Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah. But tell me about Blue-Eyed Samurai. Wait, Blue Samurai.
Blue-Eyed Samurai, you're right.
Okay, Blue-Eyed Samurai. First and foremost.
Yeah.
The thing that made me be like, maybe I won't check this out, the animation.
Okay.
How is it?
Okay.
Because it's weird. It's like...
It's not, actually. It's like, all right, so the animation is like kind of like that 2D, like that classic 2D style where it's like, I don't know, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like Overwatchy, I guess, where you're like, oh, it's like not real, but it's like very much cartoony, you know?
Is it like Arcane?
I would say it's less stylistic than Arcane. But so it's like, it's not quite Castlevania, because Castlevania is like motion blur, like very much like pastels. It's like rounded 3D animation that isn't necessarily stylistic, but looks really good.
It looks like, from what I saw, and this isn't intended to be an insult, it looks like Disney's Wish. Have you seen trailers for that?
The most recent movie they made? I heard it was okay, but no, I haven't seen it.
I mean, visually. It's like, it looks like CG characters with drawn outlines.
Maybe? I feel like the closest facsimile in anime is probably something like Gantz.
Okay.
Where it's like a 3D animation, but like everybody has like anime proportions, but not even really, because like it's actually very realistic, like with their faces and all of that. Like the eyes are very realistic and stuff like that. And that's like because the entire show is built around like the eyes and all that. So basically it's about a time in like Japan. I think it's like during the Edo period. It is during the Edo period when there was only like 4 white men in Japan. And this is because there was a time in Japan where white people weren't allowed to be there. So white people had tried, like, I think in like the 1700s to colonialize Japan, to like come in as like missionaries and spread Christianity. And so the shogunate drove out all white people, burned down their churches, were like, no, Christianity's not allowed here. So I feel like there was a couple, like 100 or so years when white people were just not allowed in Japan.
Wow.
They did very good at keeping the white people out.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
So they went to Korea, and that's why Korea is like heavily Christian. That's actually real. But in Japan during this period, like, so if you ever like were a product, if you were half white, if you ever like a product of like an Asian woman or an Asian man and a white woman, something like that, then you were considered like an onryo, which is like basically like a devil.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's like you were like.
Is that what onryo means, or does onryo mean devil?
Onryo means devil.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought that, because I've heard onryo before.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if that was the term for like muggle human. Like,
well, so like it's like they, because of their faces and like they're like half white proportions and like having like different colored eyes, they were considered as like, oh, your eyes look like you're an onryo.
Gotcha.
So one of the main character is a product of like a white man and an Asian woman, and so but everyone thinks that she is a he because she like binds her chest and pretends to be a, well, not pretend, she very much
is this Moana?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
But wait, Moana. Mulan.
No, not Moana.
There we go.
You knew what I meant.
I knew what you were going for here. But
It's
Japanese.
Moana.
Yeah, Mulan is very Chinese.
Yeah, so this is like Tangled, right?
Yeah, this is like,
it's like
It's Frozen, right? Yeah, I know women. I know women and things.
Yeah.
So she is a samurai looking to kill all 4 of the white men because like all 4 of the white men in Japan were somehow tied tangentially like into her mother's death or into her creation or something like that. So basically the entire show is like a hate crime of sorts, you know, but like, you're like, fuck yeah, get those white people, fucking kill them all.
Couldn't make that today. Couldn't make it the white man taking down the only 4 Japanese people.
I'm just so sick of being prosecuted, and like shows like Blue Eye Samurai like really speak to the fact that the white man is the most prosecuted subgroup of people on earth.
My dude, you're sick of being prosecuted? I'm sick of being prostituted. These liberals got me out here working. They got me out here selling my body.
I don't know how it happened. I'm in a miniskirt in high pumps every Saturday night on a block that I don't quite remember how I got there.
They said I gotta be a they, and I'm like, who are you then?
They taught me how to tuck. I actually kind of like how it feels, but I don't like how it makes me feel inside.
Yeah, I've been shaving my legs. Feels good. Feels great. Wearing heels. Kind of love it.
I met a man named Andrew. He loves me so tenderly. I'm not entirely sure if the wife I have is the woman for me. So yeah, liberals are the problem. Anyways, so this samurai is trying to kill like the 4 white men in Japan, and the fight scenes are sick. There are so many. Listen.
It's like a JJK.
No.
It's a gauntlet.
No. There's an okay amount of fights.
Go on. Yeah.
So many animated boobies.
Let's go.
Listen. As a counterpoint,
yo,
also a fair amount of animated PPs.
Yo, I'll drink to that, brother.
There's another one.
I'll drink to that, brother.
How many do you have? Oh my God! I gave you a Pop-Tart.
I'll drink to that, brother.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah,
slurp.
come on, have one with me.
Oh, all right. This is
Let's go, baby.
This is brought to you by our official sponsor, Bees.
No, there's a technique to it. Hold on, don't break your teeth. What are you doing? Oh no!
I'm eating pleasure.
Oh no! Nick ripped it off.
How do you do that?
I have a technique. So there's like, it's pinched at the top. We're drinking honey sticks right now. It's pinched at the top. You put it in your mouth like vertically so that the line goes like up, and you just pull back, and your teeth like pop it open. Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
This is a very roundabout way to say that Danny's better at cunnilingus than I am.
Oh yeah, you use the tongue.
Oh, you write out the letters. You write out the letters. You go through the whole alphabet. The problem is
A and then B and then it opens.
And then you remember.
B.
Oh, it's a short little trip there.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so Blue Eye Samurai. Back to that. It's a classic revenge story. Had a Rock Lee drop the weights moment where she like wears weights and like a guy's like beating her ass and she's like, all right, I'll take my weights off, and then she kicks his ass. So she's like,
that's always hype.
She basically like she stumbles into this blind sword maker's place. He can't see that she's a demon. He's super nice to her. He's the first person that's ever nice to her. He calls her the Sword Father. So it's like her revenge story, like trying to kill all these people. And like now she's kind of entangled with this guy who's trying to kill her, and the guy who's trying to kill her just got like kidnapped and all of that. Animation is really good. Storytelling's really good. Pacing's really good. Fights are really cool. A lot of boobs, a lot of pee-pees, a lot of pubes. There's a whole scene where an entire village gets naked and jumps into the water. And I was like, oh, they're probably gonna like tastefully animate around like all the dicks and boobs. Nope. No, full bush, just like watching dicks jingle as they run into the water. It was crazy.
I respect a penis in media because it's like in an almost, this is the most soy boy thing I'll ever say, in like an almost feminist way. I'm like, oh, we're seeing all these boobs all the time, we're seeing all this like pussy sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Why are we afraid when we have like, when it's R for nudity, why is there no dick?
Seeing a full bore vagina in a movie always catches me by
It is
surprise.
shocking, for sure.
Like seeing Jennifer Lawrence like full pussy in like in her most recent movie, I was like, oh, Jesus, okay.
Goddamn. And then she suplexes a guy with that pussy.
With that pussy. There's a full like step difference for me between like, oh, my boobies, and I'm like, is that a fucking vagina? I'm like, what?
But that's why, like, I forget, there was like a video game, I think it was like The Order 1880 whatever. Do you remember that?
Nope.
There's just a full-on schlong at one point in the game, and I'm like, ooh, we're pushing boundaries here, all right.
I love that.
It's like, you're like,
I mean, Baldur's Gate did it.
Baldur's Gate did do it,
yeah.
And I was like, nice, good for them. If I can like make my female characters naked, you better not have like permanent.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say if I can make my female characters have a penis, which is what I did.
Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah, I
did.
Boobies and penis. That's a winning combo. Winning combo.
But it's like, yeah, like I'm seeing like all of these nude women for equality's sake. Give me nude men. It's just cool. Also, not even that, but in like The Witcher and stuff, when there's like nude monsters, I hate when they're Ken dolls. Like give a monster like a loincloth or a dick.
I was gonna say a laughably large penis.
Just give him a penis. Yeah. Dante, I don't know why I know every video game that's ever had a penis in it. Dante's Inferno.
I feel like you've been waiting for this topic to come up. My hands are covered in honey.
Finally.
I feel like a fucking bear.
Hey, amen to that, brother. Huh? Salute.
They're in your sleeve? What the fuck? How many are in there? Is this why you couldn't take your sweater off? I was like, Danny, before the podcast started, he was like, I am so hot. And I was like, take your fucking knit sweater off. And he's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Little did I know, he's fucking Ezio over here slipping secret blades of honey out of his fucking.
I'm wired. I am buzzing. No pun intended. I am buzzing right now. I've had 3 honey sticks and a Pop-Tart for breakfast.
Jesus Christ. This is also the earliest we've ever filmed the podcast because I have to be in the kitchen bussing ass for 4 hours today.
Dude, my spine hurts. My spine is vibrating.
What does that mean?
But anyway, in the game Dante's Inferno, at the end you fight Satan because you're going through the rings of hell.
Yeah.
Huge schlong.
You would hope so.
Ginormous goat dick.
Was there? Oh God.
He's like a big satyr, and he's got this big thing sloshing about.
Does he attack you with it?
No.
Okay, that's a big separation there between penis monster and penis monster.
You know what though? That game would blow your mind. That would
no pun intended.
That would make you clutch your little pearls. There are women monsters. There's a female boss whose nipples are mouths. Like you see her full-breasted, she has mouth nipples, and they spew out like bees. Hey, amen to that, huh? And they spew out little bees.
Please don't give me another one, please. My hands are so sticky.
They spew out little bees.
It's 5 honey sticks.
They spew out bees and they attack you. And there's also women enemies who like...
I did it!
Let's go! It's way better that way. Mm-hmm. There's also women enemies do like a crab stand and a big like phallic like tentacle arm comes out of their vagina and attacks you.
See, that doesn't sound like hell to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like heaven. That sounds like, listen, that sounds like heaven. Bees? Bee titties? That sounds, listen, talk about a bee cup, am I right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hey, amen to that, brother. Please stop making me, please. Please stop making me. You said bees once, and I was like, I have to let it slide. I'm not done with my current stick. Anyway, no, keep talking about the show though, because that sounds so interesting. Like genuinely, I want to watch it.
The only problem with the show is that like everybody speaks English. It's made by an American company, so like there's not even a Japanese dub to it. Like there's no Japanese dub, and some people have like a traditional Japanese accent, not like a.
Do it. That'd be the best way to convey.
So you know, they're like, my katana, gabogoo, but some people have like, a Japanese accent, and then other dudes are just like, hey man, where's your sword? And I'm like, what is the, like, what, like, stick to either like the Tri-City accent or like Japanese. What are we doing here? Because like the main character is voiced by, the cast is actually kind of crazy. The main character is voiced by, oh, wait, no, I'm mixing up Scott Pilgrim, I think. Wait, am I mixing up Scott Pilgrim? No, I'm not. London Tipton plays a princess in it. I forget her name.
Wait. Oh, are you sure?
1,000%. She plays a Kemi.
Crazy.
I do not remember her name.
Brenda Song,
yes. Who is the old Asian dude from Star Trek? George Takei. George Takei plays a guy named by Seki. Randall Park is like kind of the bad guy. He's Heiji Shindo. And then I don't know, like Darren Barnett plays Taigen, who's an important character. But that's basically the only other person that I know.
How do you feel about all-star casts in animated shows?
I would be more upset about it if they weren't good at it. Like, obviously, all right, we have voice actor friends. Yeah. Like, we have a lot of voice actor friends. Like, obviously, like, Michaela would feel much different about this than we feel about it. Because, like, here's the thing. Obviously, The Boy and the Heron is coming out. And it's an all-stars, if that cast existed in an actual movie, you'd be like, oh my God, I need to see that expeditiously. Yeah. But the problem is voice actors who have, like, committed their entire role to not being seen. They're like, oh, my voice, I can I can modulate, I can do all these kinds of things. Like then, yeah, like you have every right to be upset about I guess who's Luke?
Mark Hamill.
You can't even be upset about Mark Hamill because like
He's just a voice actor now.
Yeah, he's like also fucking incredible at it. But then like you look at people like Batman,
Christian Bale.
No, other one.
Robert Pattinson.
There's Robert
both
Pattinson
in the film.
Yeah, I know. When like both also incredible at it, but like are kind of new to voice acting.
Yeah.
Like, Christian Bale's been doing it for a long time.
Christian Bale did it once, and he was okay in Howl.
He's incredible as Howl.
He's just like, has to be smooth. There's no like bit that like if he was nominated for an Oscar, I'd be like, oh, put that bit up there.
That's fair. He just has a very soothing voice as Howl.
Yeah, he's just soothing. But Robert Pattinson, it seems to be fucking killing it in that trailer. Yeah.
Like hitting voices that you would never assume that Robert Pattinson would have the ability to hit. So like my problem isn't with like rock star casts that are good at it. My problem is with Chris Pratt. Like the Chris Pratt's where he's like, oh, I'm Garfield. And everyone's like, please.
Yeah.
Like there's people out there who like could do Garfield's voice to a fucking T. And they're just like, I don't know. People will watch Chris Pratt. And the unfortunate thing is it worked. Because he keeps getting these massive IPs to be the voice actor for because he was in Super Mario and now he's in Garfield. And people are going to go because they're like, oh my God, I love this IP. I mean, I don't know if people feel that way about Garfield. But like it worked for like Super Mario made $1.3 billion. So everyone's like, oh wow, must have been Chris Pratt. It wasn't. People wanted to see a Mario movie.
Yeah, I love that Chris Pratt got Garfield also. Like, the studios must have been like, oh, we'll fucking show him. We'll show him.
Oh, you thought he should have done an Italian accent for Mario? Wait until we make him a cat.
He's a better Garfield than he is Mario. I'll give him that. In the trailer, I don't know if you watched the trailer, not a terrible Garfield.
Yeah.
Terrible Mario.
Yeah.
But also he's kind of just doing his Mario. He has one animated character voice.
He has one voice. Yeah. Period. That's it.
He has no range.
It's always been Chris Pratt.
Dude,
it's the Ohio meme.
I want him to give him Sonic. I want him to give him Rosa Parks. I want him to give him like other animated characters.
That would be so funny if he was just like important characters throughout history. Like they make a Martin Luther King animated show.
It's me, Martin Luther King.
I had a dream, and they're just like, oh, I've been a Shasta. Like
always Mario.
Yeah, that would be like those things. Like when it's people that are like, okay, I understand. Like from a studio perspective, you want to be like, oh, Robert Pattinson, Mark Hamill, Christian Bale, like Linda Pugh, like Lisa
who
Pugh.
Florence Pugh?
Florence Pugh! Don't know where I got Linda.
I was thinking of like, who's a historical Pugh?
Does anybody want to guess what Nick usually watches? Japanese shit. Or I don't know actors at all. Yeah. So like I can understand from a standpoint where you'd be like, oh, I want these people in it because like that'll bring people. But at the same time, it kind of fucks over voice actors.
It does fuck over voice actors. I have like two problems with it. And it's that some like Invincible, it bothers me because Invincible's animation is so not what I want out of Invincible. It's so stiff. It's so not the art in the comic. I was like flipping through an Invincible comic the other day. Is fucking outstanding. It's like some of the best comic book art ever for what it is. It's so dynamic. It's got like people like breaking from one panel to another. Like
that's kind of dope.
It's like the dude's like a master at like paneling and shading, and the colors are great.
Yeah.
And the show is like one of the uglier shows I've seen.
You know what?
Animation-wise.
I've had this take for a long time, and I was like, it never felt important enough to like for me to bring it up because I was like, oh, it's a fun show. Yeah. It's got a great cast. The guy who plays Omni-Man, Gene something.
Gene's JK Simmons.
JK Simmons. There we go. Absolutely.
Gene Simmons.
Boy, oh boy.
Kiss.
Gene Simmons. Yes, that's the guy with the long tongue. He does a fantastic job as Omni-Man. The guy who plays from The Walking Dead.
Stephen Yeun, he's great.
Yeah, he's really good. He was also incredible in Beef. So like it's got a good cast, and I feel like the voice acting is really good, but like I feel like it's animated in the exact same degree as like any DC animated TV show or movie where you're like, oh look, it's all my favorite characters, but like objectively this isn't like the pretty, like it's not like a groundbreaking animation. It's just like we do kind of the same thing. We've done the same thing for the past 2 decades, and it's like it looks good. We get the story across, but you're never like, wow, did they knock that out of the park animation wise?
Well, like this, I was trying to find a panel that wouldn't spoil something for you because because I know you like.
Genuinely, I don't give a shit.
Okay, well, but like this is
it's
like
gorgeous.
what the comic looks like.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's stunning. It's so, and like I said, the panels are so alive, and they gave it the stiffest animation. And I know we've been spoiled with like anime recently, but like it pisses me off when J.K. Simmons, you should have him. Stephen Young, he's great at it. We don't need Mahershala Ali in one episode. We don't need John Hamm in like every minor.
Who the fuck was Mahershala? I can't do names.
Who? I don't know who you're talking about. I can't answer you unless you tell.
Mahershala.
You have to have known what I said. You know it's not Mersh.
Mahershala Ali. Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala.
Mahershala. You said it wasn't Maher.
It's not
Mahershala.
Mahershala Ali.
Got it.
You remember the big rock guy, Titan, in season 1?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's him. But it's like every side
Oh,
character.
the guy who becomes like a CEO?
He's like he fights Machine Head. He like makes rocks around himself. He's trying to like go good.
Yeah. The guy who becomes a CEO.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Yeah, of that place. Yes. Every minor character, and these characters like do come back in small capacities, but like they don't all need to be Oscar award-winning actors.
Yeah.
I have to assume a lot of the budget goes there. I also know for a fact it has 1/10 of the budget of The Boys, which is like,
considering the fact that it's made by the same people, that is kind of crazy. But then again, when you think about like the amount of
live action,
the amount of practical effects they have to pull off for The Boys.
but like a 10th, like but it's just like the animations like could be so much better. The art should be better, and that's why I hate when like I just know so much of the budget is going into this like Oscar cast when it doesn't need to.
Yeah. That is a really good point, actually. Like, you could definitely, like, there's people of equal talent to J.K. Simmons and Stephen Yeun when it comes to especially voice acting that would come at a way cheaper price. Like, I bet you right now you could get Michaela on that for, what, a 10th of the price as any of the people you just got there. Like, there's people out there with incredible voice acting careers that they've already built up that are, like, just looking for work and want to get, like, that breakthrough role. And I feel like the voice acting community, like, especially when it comes to, like, voice actors, is like the top eat and the bottom kind of starve. Yeah. It's like if you're Gray, if you're, Dante Bosco, if you're like all these kind of people that like do, or like
Mark Hamill.
Or Patrick Seitz, those kind of people, you get every role. Yeah. Like, if I can call up Patrick Seitz, see if he's busy. Call up
it's aggressive.
Yeah, what's the who's the guy who plays Goku?
Sean Schimmel.
Yeah, Sean Schimmel. Like, all those people, like, if you get a big role, congratulations, you're around forever. However, if you didn't get like a back-to-back big role, it's like, have fun fighting for the scraps. And it's like, now that's only being exasperated by the fact that, like, oh, now you have to compete with Chris Pratt. Yeah. Like, it's like the fact that like Chris Pratt is like also like the second he walks in, you're like, okay, I guess
he has it. You're like, That's
like, obviously, like, if they can afford to pay him, why wouldn't they?
Yeah. No,
and I think that's why, honestly, One Piece is doing so well. It's because it's like a cast of relative unknowns who are committed to the role like crazy. So they're not getting paid. I mean, they're probably going to get paid more for season 2 now, like that season 1 is such a success, but they could spend more money on the practical, on the CG, all those kinds of things, because they're not shelling out for The Rock to play Chopper, which, I mean, if they do, would be hilarious.
Yeah. No, I agree. I 100% agree. Do you have anything else about Blue-Eyed Samurai?
No.
Sounds great. I'm going to watch it for sure.
I did watch the first episode of Scott Pilgrim.
Me too.
Oh, that's all you watched?
That's all I watched.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of an all-star cast.
They just brought back the original cast.
It's the original cast. Did you notice, and this might just be me. This might just be me being a
Michael
huge
Cera
snob.
doesn't sound like Michael Cera?
He's like okay at it. He doesn't sound like Michael Cera.
I'm not saying he's a great voice actor. He just doesn't sound like Michael Cera.
He doesn't sound like him.
Yeah.
The pacing of the conversations is so weird. It doesn't feel like, it feels awkward. And sometimes this happens with like when actors do voice acting, because it is a different, like Megan Fox in Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, she's
bad.
the prime example of actors really just nailing voice acting. Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's a different
blade's
skill.
Enchanted. We're not monsters because we suck. But I genuinely, if you put me in the booth tomorrow, I have zero voice acting experience. Could do a better job than she did.
Well, that's why she's a great example of why it is a different skill.
Yeah.
And why like voice actors get mad when
let's not sit here and act like she's an incredible actress.
But she's better. She's better than that.
Yeah, fair.
That's what I mean. But like fucking the pacing of the conversations in this is so strange, where it feels to like it never feels like anyone's having a conversation. It feels like people are reading lines in a booth and then someone animated over it. Like, I couldn't get sucked in. And maybe it's because I'm, like, comparing it to the movie too much. Like, I just couldn't separate.
Well, it separates itself from the movie all
it
but
does.
immediately.
There's a big, not immediately, but at the end.
Well, at the end of the first episode, yeah.
There's a twist.
Should we talk about it?
Yeah.
So, me and Danny
Spoilers for
have both seen
episode
the
one.
first episode of Scott Pilgrim, breaks out or something?
Yeah.
That's what it's called?
Or takes off.
Takes off, something like
Yeah.
that. And so the first person that he goes to fight, Matthew Patel, just ends up beating him in one punch.
Yeah.
So instead of Michael Cera cutting his way through the 7 evil boyfriends, it's actually...
Seven evil exes.
Yeah, 7 evil
An
ex-boyfriends.
important no.
I guess. Yeah.
One's a girl.
I've seen... Listen, I understand.
It's my favorite movie.
Is it actually?
Yes.
That makes so much goddamn sense. That makes so... And listen, I understand that it's a cult classic. I understand it's a lot of people's favorite movies. I don't get the appeal.
It's so good.
I don't... What is good about it?
I'm about to teach you the appeal.
Okay, could you just tell me your favorite things about it? Because I watched it once and I was like, fun.
The movie is so fucking confident. It like doesn't give a shit what you think about. It's doing bits. It's doing like weird special effects, like nonsense all the time. And it also is so dense. And the show like made me realize this even more. Because there are scenes like when Scott is showing Aubrey Plaza's character, whatever her name is.
Knives?
Julie.
Julie,
yeah. He's showing Julie, he's like, do you know a girl who looks like this? And he holds up a picture and it's like a doodle of Ramona Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And like, in the show, he just like, he holds it up, it's very slow, it's very not funny, and like, they just have this conversation, and it's very normal, it's just a regular conversation.
Except for the fact that he drew a picture of a woman he saw in his dreams, but yeah.
Other than that.
Yeah.
But like, it's shot like a regular conversation. In the movie, he like whips it up very fast and like it's funny because it's this very basic doodle in a live action world, so like that hits a little harder. But then also as they're having the conversation, all of the lights in the party are like dimming and dimming, like almost unnoticeably until they're both like spotlit. And then she's like, don't date Ramona Flowers. And then someone snaps him out of it and all the lights like blast back on.
Gotcha.
And that's just like a small thing where it's just every scene of that movie has some gimmick to it that is like heightening it in some way. And the show doesn't have any of that life or energy, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Like, the movie's so passionate, which I dig. And it's also just funny and cool. Like, I also just like it.
So if there's anybody to actually have a valued opinion on this, it's definitely not me. It might be you.
I wrote my last college essay I wrote was about Scott Pilgrim. It was called Scott Pilgrim versus Realism. It was 11 pages long.
You are every single thing I learn about you makes you seem more like you to me. Like every prejudice, not every prejudice, every like preconceived notion I had about Danny, because you were like, oh, I'm a film major, and I'm like, oh, probably like Scott Pilgrim, and then I like met your girlfriend, and I was like, definitely like Scott Pilgrim, and so like everything about you, I'm like, yeah, makes sense.
You could assume everything about me, and it's correct. Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, like, it was fine. I'm not going to watch any more of it. I watched the first episode with Dorothy, and I was like,
it's so fine.
It's fine.
Which is why I'm like, fuck, it's my favorite movie. That's how I feel about Invincible. Invincible's good, but that's how I feel about the animation. Where
Invincible
I'm like, fuck, it's my favorite comic.
Yeah.
Where's Mappa?
You're literally you are too invested in it to enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's an issue. That's like kind of me with, I don't even know, like, I feel like that's kind of me with JJK, because JJK is like currently my favorite like anime, and I feel like that would be me with Hunter x Hunter if it was like the anime was still coming out, because I'd be like, oh my god, it's my favorite manga of all time. Please make sure like continuing of the anime adaptation is still good.
But you love the anime.
I love the anime.
Yeah.
They fucking nailed it.
Right. But so it doesn't, it's not like you're like,
but like, if the anime were to continue, and kind of, and this is a good segue, what's going on with JJK right now?
Yeah.
So like, JJK is my favorite manga on Earth right now, maybe outside of Boruto. Actually, you know what? That's it. It's Boruto.
Wow.
Boruto, because Boruto's manga is my favorite manga on Earth right now. I love it. And like, I'm not even saying that as like the fucking Naruto shill. I mean, I am the Naruto shill, and therefore like me liking Boruto is like, kind of, unfortunately, a financial move, but like it started as a financial move where I was like, oh, guess who's run out of ways to talk about all the Jinchuriki and Naruto? Good thing there's still a universe still that they're building, so I'm gonna read Boruto, get well versed. Actually really fucking good, but the anime is garbage.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
it's
And so-
seasonal.
yeah, well, now it is.
Yeah.
Thank fuck.
Yeah.
Like, they're taking a huge break. It's probably gonna be weekly when they come back, but for the moment, they're like, all right, let's give everybody a moment to actually animate and get the story ahead.
Well,
here.
but I mean, you coined the idea that Boruto has always been seasonal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
technically.
Boruto is seasonal. You skip the filler, and then whenever they decide to do a canon arc, you're like, oh, cool, we're back. Nice. Yeah. Like, you wait like a year and a half, and then, oh, now we're doing Ishiki's arc finally? Nice.
Yeah.
By the way, absolutely understand what you say. Spine, tingle.
I was going to say, you cannot go stick for stick with me on Honey. You just finished your second one. I've been finishing these the second I pull them out.
It's almost like my sleeves aren't filled with them, Daniel. Like, what? You have the access. I don't want another one. That being said, boy, oh boy, does my throat feel fantastic.
It does help.
It goes straight down.
Yeah.
In our line of work, when you scream all goddamn day long, you need honey, you need loquat,
Throat
you need
coat.
warm water, what?
Throat coat tea.
What the fuck is throat coat?
Just a tea that like helps numb your throat a little.
Throat coat, so it can be the throat goat you've always wanted to be.
Boom, baby.
Oh my god, that has to be their branding.
Yeah, that's really
Why else
good.
would they call it throat coat?
I'm gonna reach out.
You absolutely should. You're like, is this for like content creators or
Yeah.
people who want to give some incredible blowjobs?
I borderline bleed throat coat. I
Yeah.
drink so much of that
That's
stuff.
wild.
Yeah.
I have the little bottle of like Chinese medicine I gave you.
I still have it. It's good.
It's very good.
It helps.
It
Yeah.
hits hard. Anyways, so kind of what's going on with JJK right
JJK.
now is that like the manga is going absolutely nuts, so crazy.
Yeah.
Probably the craziest chapter they've ever released. They just will be released soon. I got the leaks.
Oh, sorry. I did want to ask about Boruto very, very briefly.
Let's do it.
It's your favorite manga currently.
Yes.
If you can, I know it's impossible. If you can set nostalgia aside,
Yeah.
where does it rank in terms of like Naruto and Naruto Shippuden? The manga.
The manga?
And I know there isn't a Naruto Shippuden manga. It's all just Naruto.
Yeah. I wouldn't have corrected you on that. Genuinely, for a long time, I thought there was a Naruto Shippuden manga.
Right.
Because I watched the anime long before I read the manga. Boruto, no nostalgia?
Yeah.
See, nostalgia would boost Naruto and Naruto Shippuden for me.
Right.
So if I take nostalgia out,
Boruto's better?
looking at everything objectively, Boruto is currently on a run that's better than any run in Naruto.
Wow.
I would say the last, okay, so obviously Naruto is weekly, so it's like 14-page chapters, like 20-page chapters at most. Boruto comes out monthly, so it's 40-page chapters. I would say from chapter 65 to chapter 4 of Two Blue Vortex is the best run Kishimoto has ever put together in any manga.
Wow.
Not just Naruto, Naruto Shippuden. I'm talking Samurai Number 8, any of his other works. This is the best year and a half he's ever had manga-wise. Especially with, like, if you want to look at a 4-month run, Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, first 4 chapters, because I would say that would equate to somewhere around like 12-ish chapters. Best 12-chapter run he's ever put down. Every single final page of 2 Blue Vortex up to this point has been like a massive reveal of the highest order. I was like, can I talk about it?
Sure.
So chapter 1, it's like, Code, one of the bad guys from Boruto, is attacking the Konoha. And chapter 1 kind of closes with Boruto like arriving on scene. And it's like you see Boruto's new like form, you see his new like clothes and all
the
that. You're
karma
like,
nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh my god, Boruto's here. The second one closes out with the reveal of his new jutsu. Third one closes out with the reveal of him having toads. Fourth one closes out with the reveal of Sasuke's location now post time skip. Like every single final page thus far into Blue Vortex has had this massive reveal that's been like so goddamn sick.
That's hype.
And every single chapter I'm able to make like 3 or 4 videos about on my YouTube, and everyone's like, oh my god, yes, thank god somebody's talking about Boruto.
Yeah.
And it's like when it releases, it's probably the second or third biggest manga on earth. So like a lot of people are reading it. It's just not a lot of people are talking about it, at least in American circles. It's massive in Japan.
Right.
So I love it. I'm not gonna say it's better than Naruto. I like as an aggregate basis, it's not better than Naruto. I think where they're currently going with like Naruto and Sasuke being like the prime directives, like we have to go save them.
Yeah.
I think the character development that we are not like could get for Naruto and Sasuke and Boruto and Kawaki could bring it to like heights of Naruto or higher. Because Boruto is more about building out the characters that we already know and love and less about the fights.
Right.
And that's why a lot of people are complaining about it, because people are like, oh, Sasuke's potential is being wasted. He's losing all these fights. It's like he's losing these fights because he's protecting his daughter. And he's protecting like Boruto and all these like other kinds of people. Like we're developing character development for Sasuke, which is why in Boruto, he's been one of my favorite characters.
Right.
So like, it's been really good. I'm not gonna say it's better than Naruto. I mean, we'll make that the title if we want to,
Yeah.
but like it's running up close with Naruto.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's sick.
So if you're not reading it and you're a Naruto fan, like I just put Stephen He onto it. He just got caught up. He loves it. My tattoo artist, Winnie, he's like the biggest Boruto fan on earth. Like everybody close to me, I'm putting onto the Boruto manga. If you enjoyed Naruto, please, for the love of God, read it. It's so good.
Hype.
It's very
okay. JJK.
JJK.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit news from last week that we should
Right.
cover before we talk about this week's episode.
Sure.
Obviously, no delay. So last week,
Which is crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
There was some rumbling that because of what was going on at Mappa, we're going to see a delay, and they just decided not to, which is wild because a couple of animators walked away from the show. So we're now like, okay, we're now working with a lesser team.
Yeah.
Like less animators, and I kind of felt like there was less animators on this episode.
I did, but I wonder if I didn't know about all this drama, if I would notice. Because it's also the fact that, like, maybe there have been fights in this season that have just been, like, not as
That
big.
haven't been like astounding.
Yeah, like, we just had the biggest fight in the season pretty much in the
Yeah.
last episode. Then we had all this drama, and so now that they're putting out, like, a lesser fight, it's like, oh, the show's ruined. But I think it's just like, I think even if everyone stayed, probably just be like,
It wouldn't
this
have been
too.
nuts.
Yeah,
There was just like
yeah.
a lot of like, it's just the whole fight is just like blobs. It's like, you know, because like Mahito's ability is transfigured humans, and he's making like blob walls, and he's
Yeah.
throwing blobs at Yuji, and there's blobs coming out of people, and I'm like, everything is lacking, like, because there's already no detail in the way that we decided to animate this. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, oh, it's gray blob number 3, and then like the blob is pushing them against the wall, and like it's dark,
Yeah.
which makes sense. Like obviously it would be dark, like the blob is stopping all light from getting into that area, but I was like, it's dark, I can't really see what's going on, and I was just like, it's such an important video, like such an important episode.
Yeah.
It's Nanami's death episode.
Yeah.
Like, which is massive. How do you feel?
I feel okay. Well, so it was well done, and
Yeah.
it was sad. Like,
Yeah.
I loved the scene. I loved all of it. And I like that someone died.
Yeah.
Thank God, I've been begging for that.
People have already died.
Who?
Mekamaru.
Is he dead?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I didn't know he was dead.
What? He very much is.
I forget what happened. There's been so many fights.
Yeah. Him versus Maito. And
Yeah.
like he's like unable to kill Maito. Yeah, they kill him.
How'd he die?
I actually don't. I think he runs out of cursed energy.
Right? Like, I don't remember. It wasn't like his head didn't come off.
No,
or
there was no
anything,
like explosion. I think they just kind of see like him, like the mech slumped, and it's like Mekamaru. It's like
Oh, then I
Maito.
shouldn't be denounced for not knowing he
Well,
died.
I think he also says when he puts the earpiece on, he's like, "Oh, this is like a counter, like a
like a
backup strategy in case I die here." Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know he died though. I thought it was like in case. Like,
No.
I don't know. Weird.
'Cause
Okay,
his
so
plan,
he's dead.
His plan was to fight against Mahito and Kenjaku long enough that Gojo could get to
Right,
them.
right,
But he
gotcha.
wasn't able to do that.
Got you. Okay, so he's dead and Nanami died. Those are
And
all
then
the good guys.
Dagon, Jogo,
All the good
Hanami.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool. I had no real attachment to Nanami as like a
Toji
character.
died.
Toji?
Toji.
Well, yeah, but like good guys. I mean,
He's morally gray.
Toji's unbelievably morally black.
What
What are you talking
He
about?
just wants money.
That's not a morally white nor gray thing.
Yes, it is.
So not.
Listen, he could be bought. Like, listen, if the good guys had money, he would fight for them. It's not like he wants to be evil. He's just like, hey, who's ever bidding the highest, I'll do what you ask.
That's a morally bad way to live.
That's the epitome of gray.
No.
Because the UN could buy him to protect their UN meetings, but they just don't have the bread, Daniel. It's not his fault that there's so much goddamn money in evil.
I suppose I harumph.
You harumph?
I harumph at that.
I think the
because
prospect
I
I think the prospect of putting yourself out to the highest bidder is incredibly morally gray.
think being morally gray is to be good, but you'll kill.
No.
Like if he was like,
No.
I'm gonna do good shit, but I'm gonna kill anyone who gets in my way, even if they're good.
No. That's the superheroification of morals. That's like the argument between like Red Hood and Batman. Of like the only reason
I think Red Hood's morally gray.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Because he kills bad guys. That's
Yeah.
the right thing to do.
So you think he's morally white?
I think he's morally totally in the clear.
Yeah, okay.
Are you kidding me? Batman, listen, I understand. There's a 1,000-year argument of like the only reason that Batman
should kill.
The only reason that Batman doesn't kill people is because he's like, boy, oh boy, would I get addicted to it, which is a crazy thing to say.
No, the only reason he doesn't kill is because they want to keep having the villain show up.
yeah, yeah.
They don't want to keep coming up with new villains.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, well, we killed Joker.
Yeah.
Well, here
Here's
comes
the
Mr. Freeze.
jester.
Yeah. Joker Jr. He's got a lot of children.
Watch out for the goofster.
This guy's just kind of got jokes.
They're puns, though, this time.
You killed him. All right, this guy did an open mic once.
Yeah.
All right, we're running out of names
Yeah,
here.
up next is Bill Burr, Gotham's biggest crime lord.
Batman punching his fucking skull in. So anyways, but Batman doesn't kill. I think, Red Hood, completely, like, morally
Interesting.
fine.
Got you.
So I think moral gray is, I'm a good guy sometimes, I'm a bad guy sometimes. Like, all right, you know who?
Who?
If you want to go,
Sasuke?
if you're trying to, no.
I don't know. Okay,
Sasuke's
go.
a terrorist.
I'll stop. But he's like a good guy. They like him.
he's not.
But they like him.
Now?
Always. They were trying to rescue him, and then now isn't being a terrorist who's now a good guy morally gray?
No.
What's morally gray? I'm sorry I
All right,
interrupted you.
As a general career,
Yeah.
like if you're looking at the whole career, you're like, all right, 96 bulls to 2001 bulls. Yeah, at some point they were world eaters. They were the best in the world. So Sasuke went from a terrorist to a good guy. If you look at his entire career, you would say average, right? So
Okay.
morally gray. However, I would say that Sasuke was never at one point morally gray. I would say he was either a terrorist or the Shadow Hokage.
Got you.
No in between.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's morally gray?
Deathstroke. If you want to look at DC characters.
Just because he's a guy you can pay to do a thing?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Like
right.
Deathstroke or Deadshot or any of those people, like, yeah, if like you can shoot me, like you pay me, I shoot whoever you ask. That's morally gray.
I argue no one with death or dead in their name is morally gray.
It's like the Whitest Kids You Know skit where have you never seen this? It's like they're dressed up as like the Nazis from World War II and they have skulls on their helmets and it's like, are we the baddies? We're called the Death Squad and we have skulls on our helmets.
Yeah,
Are we
like-
the baddies? Yeah. Yeah, like if you put
That's what I'm
Deathstroke in your name, it is hard to be like, if you want me to kill
Yeah, like I can't imagine Deathstroke like being at like, one
the
of those
Justice League and
But,
they're like,
like-
I'll shoot him.
Yeah, like I can't imagine him being at like a press conference or whatever after he's arrested and being like, they're like, why do you kill people? Why don't you work at orphanages? And it's like, the orphanages haven't paid me. I'd do it if they did. Like,
Have we considered these kids with dead parents getting a job?
yeah, like, interesting. Okay, morally gray is Toji.
Yes.
That's why we talked about this. I'm just backtracking.
You're there.
Nanami's death was cool in conclusion. Like, I liked how it was delivered. I
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh no Nanami anymore. I don't think there's any
Character you're so attached to
Yeah,
that their death would really
that
cut
I'll
you
really
up.
feel it.
Really?
I think Gojo, I'll feel. Like, I feel. That's cool. I'm coming around on Yuji,
Okay.
which we'll get into.
Which I told you would do.
I really only like the villains in this show.
Okay, that's fair.
Mahito's sick. When
Mahito-
Mahito dies, I'll be upset. I am upset Jogo's dead. That's the thing. I miss villains because the good guys are so boring.
That's very fair, and I think it's actually a testament to Gekatami's like writing skill because like there are these like interspersed moments where we see the villains just like kind of hanging out, and all of the disaster curses, their entire motivation is to kill humans so they can exist as humans. Like they want to kill all humans so the cursed spirits can rise up and live a human life like outside of the prosecution of humans. Like that's why like Jogo was saying to Hanami and Dagon in the afterlife, like we will reincarnate, we are the real humans because
Yeah.
like they technically, even if you exercise them, they never go away. Like people will still be afraid of volcanoes. It's not like Chainsaw Man where if like I'm not gonna. Never mind. I was close. I was close. But so they'll always come back. And I guess it is kind of like Chainsaw Man, where like if a devil dies, they go to hell, and then if they die in hell, they come back to Earth.
That's fuck. What's going on in hell then?
All the devils live there. It's not fun.
That's crazy. That seems annoying.
Do you not know this?
No, I don't know. Maybe I
All
forgot.
devils start in hell.
Yeah.
And so there's like a couple of primal devils that are like darkness and falling.
yeah.
People who have never died. And that's
Yeah.
why they're the primal devils. So they exist solely in hell. But if you die in hell, then you go back to Earth. And if you die on Earth, you go back to hell. So they technically, a devil will never die.
It just seems like it'd be easier to die in hell than it would on Earth.
Oh, yeah.
So that's butts.
It's not great. That's why. So there's an arc in part 1 where the devils return, like a couple of like the special division returns to hell, and all of the devils are freaking out because they're like, "Oh, you don't want to be
Damn.
here." They're like, "This is where the big bads are."
Oh, is hell a bad place to be now?
Yeah, like hell, notoriously unchill.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like way less women with titty mouths than you would anticipate.
Damn.
I know.
Damn it.
You gotta go through several layers. So that's why they were talking. So like the bad guys in JJK are awesome.
Yeah,
like
they're
Hanami, Jogo, Mahito, and Dagon's relationship is really cute.
Yeah.
And like Mahito like cheering for like Dagon to eat all this like
Yeah.
civilians is like really cute. And then there's like the after credit scenes in season 1 where they're like just like kind of like fucking around. They're like playing soccer with Jogo's head, or like they're in high school, like those kinds of moments. Like making a connection to them is very easy. Unfortunately, they're all gone now.
Yeah, does Mahito know everyone else is dead?
I don't know.
That's what I like.
They never really established that, actually.
It occurred to me that they don't know they're all dead when they're dying.
So also Mahito, because Jogo watches Hanami die.
Yeah.
Jogo watches Hanami die, and then I don't know if anybody knows Dagon is dead.
Well, then they do a bit where Jogo sees Dagon, and he's like, oh, you're here.
Yeah.
In heaven, or whatever.
Yeah, or like wherever
Yeah,
cursed spirits go. So also like Mahito and all of them don't really get along because they disagree on what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because Mahito wants to kill Yuji because he has like beef with him.
Yeah.
And everybody else is like, no, we need Yuji for Sukuna.
Yeah.
So like Mahito's like, we're strong enough, we don't need Sukuna. So it's like a conflicting opinion. So they're like, all right, you guys try and save Yuji and like feed him Sukuna's fingers. I'm gonna try and kill Yuji.
Yeah.
So now we're in that battle between Yuji and Mahito, which is the final battle of the Shibuya incident. It's the biggest.
Shit.
It's like, I think it's the final battle. It's the most important battle, which is why I was disappointed in how it was animated, because like plot wise, like and like moralistically and like build up wise, this is, and next episode will be more important. But this is the biggest, most important fight, at least for Yuji's development.
Gotcha. How does this episode end? I watched
So
it
ends
yesterday.
with the fact that Mahito splits at the beginning of the Shibuya incident.
Yeah, right.
And now his like double is battling against Nobara.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So
Who is my favorite character in JJK,
really?
mind you. Yes.
Gotcha. Interesting. So every week you ask me where this fight kind of ranks on the fightometer. How does it for you? You're disappointed?
Above Dick Monster.
Wow, that's low.
Yeah, above Dick Monster, maybe above Mei versus the smallpox curse. That one was kind of cool. But like probably as high as I go.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think this is the best fight.
No way.
I think
No. Please tell me.
this is low key top 3 fights
Why?
of the
Because
season.
of how it's introduced, like
It's
him being
so-
like, Mahito!
Dude, not Yuji's scream, but Mahito's is so
There's
good.
no need to scream. Yeah.
The way he's like, Itadori Yuji!
Yeah.
So cool. And I also just love, like, what great banter. Like, Yuji screams at Mahito, and he's like, you don't need to scream, I can hear you. And he, like, yells it back.
Yeah.
Love that.
He's a menace.
Love Mahito. But this is like, right, episode 17.
It's a wild sentence to say out loud.
I love Mahito.
Love Mahito is a wild sentence.
He's fun. He's silly.
Oh, God. I can feel...
He's quirky. He's a quirked up sweater boy.
I could feel the comments. Oh, God. I would like to... I don't stand with that take. Rest in peace, Nanami.
It's so funny to me that people will hate villains who do exciting shit.
He's a really
You know,
good villain. He's an
that's what
incredibly compelling villain.
The Bungo Stray Dogs community, like, hit me with this a little, where in season 5 there's a great villain until the season seemingly forgets he's cool.
Yeah.
But like, there's a great villain, and I'm like, I love this guy. One of my top villains in anime. He's sick. And everyone's like, wow, can't believe we found someone who likes this villain. And it's like, and I found out it's because he does dastardly things that people don't like him. And I'm like, yeah.
Love the wild use of dastardly.
What are you talking about?
I was expecting you to like twirl your mustache.
He does nefarious deeds.
Yeah,
What are you on?
He gets on his big penny cycle and he goes and he ties a woman to a train.
Track.
There we go. I am struggling today.
I know.
Those fucking bee juice.
Hey, amen to that, brother.
Stop.
I drink to that.
Don't. Daddy, I'm concerned for our health. You've eaten no solid foods today. I'm so worried.
But anyway,
you're gonna be the first person to OD on honey. This is.
I told Josh, I was like, how many of these is safe to eat in a sitting? Because I'm gonna
He was like
do
2,
this
and
bit.
you're like, all right, 4.
I'm on 4. What's his name?
Mahito?
Mahito.
Yeah.
He's so fun. He's so villainous. This fight, here's the thing. Episode 17's fight, which we ranked very high. A, like, 3rd grader could come up with the choreography for. They're just throwing each other through buildings.
I guess
they're
I kind of like scale.
Well, that fair.
Yeah.
It's not a bad fight, but it's impressive. If it was animated by like the Invincible people, not to throw shade, it would be okay.
I mean, they kind of already did it.
Exactly.
The Chicago fight.
But the Chicago fight in Invincible is sick because of like the context, and there's some like cooler, like the train bits, great,
incredible.
Invincible trying to save people mid the fight, like that. The story is why that fight's so sick.
Yeah.
But like episode 17's fight is just them throwing each other through buildings, and it's spectacularly animated.
I mean, they do cut like a radio tower in half and then throw Maharaga into a pool and then pin him down in a pool with the radio tower. There's also the scene where Sukuna is using his cleave on Maharaga in that building, and you see all the cleaves going through the building.
There's a lot of that. It's like, but this fight, episode 18,
Also, Maharaga swims through a building.
He does swim through a building. I know. He does the butterfly stroke
sick.
up a building.
It was so sick.
It's very cool. It's sick. I agree. Top fight. It's really cool. I'll be rewatching it several years down the line.
Which is also wild considering the fact that we opened up to like talking about JJK.
It's not done.
Yeah, apparently a tweet came out from one of the animators and they were like, oh yeah, only 30% of like my vision for the episode was like really fleshed out. Like it wasn't like it was a 30% animated. It was more like it came out like later that it was like, oh, I had 70% more vision for this episode that wasn't fleshed out because they didn't let us delay.
God, what could it have been?
I have no idea.
That's like the burning of the Library of Alexandria for me, knowing I'll never get the rest of that episode.
That episode at 100% would be batshit.
Insane. Him also, what a flex. Like, this wasn't even 50% of my true power.
Not even his final form. Like, I am better than this. What?
But this fight, episode 18, is so creative. It's so fun. And like I love that he throws a big wall of souls and Yuji won't punch it, and then spikes come out of the wall, and there's a guy in the subway, he just touches his head, and then he turns into a rapier. Yeah. And that's cool. And then I love when they're in the subway, and I know you said it gets too dark, but I love where they're just looking at each other.
Slowly
and it's like,
walking.
They're slowly walking, it's like squishing slowly and slowly. It's so cool. It's just fun. Like, I was on the edge of my seat with that one, being like, what will he do next? Yeah. They end up in an elevator, and he's fucking up the elevator and like fucking his body up.
That scene was so confusing. Because like I looked down for a second, he was in the elevator, and then I was like, all right, he's charging up his fist, and then because he knows Mahito's gonna come, and then somehow he was back at like where he began and all of that. I was so lost.
There's some of that, like when they're in the subway and it's squishing them. There's a bit where it cuts to Mahito and then cuts to Yuji, and he's just gone. Yeah. And then Mahito's like, where'd you go? And then he hits him somehow. Yeah, like that confused me. But like, it's so I was on the edge of my seat with this episode more than any other episode, because I was like, what wacky shit is Mahito gonna come up with next with his Toon Force?
Yeah, he is. Well, he's like, out of all of the characters in MHA, he has the biggest litany of abilities. And because of that, his fights can go any possible direction. Yeah. And then he has his domain expansion, was like obviously very sick.
I love his domain expansion because it does like, the hands are so cool looking. He does a big of this, and then behind it, there's a hand doing that.
And like every domain expansion is like a representative of the thing that either the cursed spirit or the person who's opening the domain is like trying to embody. And like his entire, exactly. It's like, but because in his domain expansion, everywhere is his hands. And his hands are the most dangerous things, because if he lays his hands on you, he can transfigure your soul. So in a domain expansion, you're just fucked. And that's why I think Mahito's a really cool character. And I don't think there's anything wrong with liking him, because it's exactly like me liking Donzo. I'm like, this dude is evil. He's compelling. You're supposed to hate him. But like, because you hate him and because he's an interesting character that like actually brings something to the story, like in terms of like, he pushes the story forward. He kills some of your favorite characters. You despise him. Like, that is a good villain.
Yeah, villains are supposed to do bad shit. Like,
and I hate the like heroification of villains so much. And I think that's where JJK absolutely fucking nails villains, because in like Naruto, it's like, oh, like Madara was just trying to bring peace to the world. Oh, Obito was just like trying to get a world where Rin was back alive. It's like this like Nagato was just trying to fix the world through like a site, like by making sure everybody felt hatred. Like, the like, oh, we have these like greater ideas for the world. like kind of thing. It's like, oh, we're villains, but like we're good guys, like in our own mind trying to accomplish a goal that seems villainous to you. Despise it.
Yeah.
I love a villain who's a villain for the sake of being a villain. That's actually why I really enjoy All for One in MHA, because his entire thing is like, I read a comic that had a demon lord in it, and that demon lord commanded respect without him ever helping a single person. That's who I want to be.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a menace.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's what Mahito is, because Mahito doesn't want to like bring Sukuna in. He's not really concerned about like conjoining all of the world with Tengen. Like he literally just wants to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, I like it too. Yeah, so I love Mahito. Episode's good.
Let's talk about Yuji. Who you're coming around on.
It was good. Because we're losing his smile a little.
Yep.
Which is exciting.
Story's a bit less goofy.
Yeah, it's less goofy. I like that he sees Nanami's death.
Yep.
Which is good. And yeah.
Haibara pointing at Yuji is breaks my heart every time.
Yeah. It's really good. And I like that he it's like taking the fight seriously. He's fucking traumatized from like the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
Where he just sees the destruction and chaos.
And you just see his fingers that are like peeled back as he's walking towards like Nanami.
Yeah. So that's all good. I dug him more. I think I'll always love the villains more because Yuji's power is so boring.
I cannot wait. I can't wait for next episode.
Yeah?
Oh, I can't wait for next episode and the episode after that. You're going to love Yuji. You're going to love him.
I'm excited. I like that there wasn't a fucking thing talking in his ear being like, throw spaghetti sauce on him. It kills him.
Yeah, because he was just like, punch.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's going to go for the rest of this.
Yeah. He's like, I hit.
There's no Mekamaru being like, oh, yeah, like dilute his transfigured humans with olive oil.
Give him fucking, what was it? Hypothermable or whatever. What's the thrombosis?
Oh, thrombosis. Yeah,
give him thrombosis.
Yeah, he's like, his blood needs to coagulate, and if you make sure it doesn't coagulate, he can get a thrombosis. Yeah, that was wild. But like, it's also like, it's Gegekatami being Gegekatami, but sometimes he abandons that for sake of big punch, and that is very fun every single time. So the next couple episodes are going to be very good for you.
I'm hype.
Do you want to talk about Undead Unluck? Did you watch it?
Yeah, sure.
I think this was the episode where I was like, yeah, this is going to stick around.
Yeah.
This was a massive like turned corner for Undead Unluck. Like I'm trying to think of like the episode in other shows where I'm like, this is the reason I'm going to watch this forever. And this is that for me.
Wow.
Like it's probably like Gon landing a punch on Hisoka or something or like in Naruto, that like Haku's death, I would say is like the best comparison where I'm like, absolutely, this is what's going to keep me in this show forever. This episode right here, we're talking about the episode that came out last week. We understand we're recording on a Friday, and that's when Undead Unluck comes out.
Well, explain plot-wise what happened.
So this is the end of the battle against Stain.
Yeah.
The Yuma Stain. So let's like the teacher. Spoil. You're right.
Stain's my hero.
It kind of looks like Stain, actually.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about it. So we see the second form of Spoil.
He looks like Boros from One
Boruto?
Punch.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she
Yeah,
kind of
doesn't
does.
he? Big one eye. Yeah,
You're absolutely right. So it was the battle against Spoil, and like they're all like, we get like the backstory on the teacher and how the teacher like spoiled by saving the kids, and we get the story. I think it's episode 7. It's like the story of how the kids are able to reset the timer on their stomach and all of that.
Yeah, because they have a dream.
I cried like a fucking child.
What?
I cried so hard.
When?
Just like watching the teacher get clothed, like watching the teacher save everybody, and then watching the teacher save the kids, and the kids having like dreams to keep them alive, and then watching the teacher spoil, and then him like Andy marrying the teacher and like her getting closure, and us understanding that she only ever wanted to wear a wedding dress, and then Andy being like, if you guys want to like battle against Spoil, if you want to protect this like town and these kids and all of that, go get touched.
Oh, the hug.
Yeah, go get touched. And so the Unluck girl, Fumi?
Something.
Yeah. Hugs her.
Oopsie.
Yeah, oopsie. That's,
Oopsie's her name.
Nailed it, absolutely. But so it's like, because she feels so passionately towards the teacher, because she knows her backstory, the teacher explodes. And it's like, because she's trying to defend the children, and I fucking bawled.
Yeah.
I like ugly cried. I was a mess, dude.
Wow.
And I was a mess.
Wow.
It's very good. So I'm now a big proponent of Undead Unluck.
Nice. It was good. I like the episode. I like that moment. I don't think it's the end of the fight. They don't beat him.
No, they don't.
Yeah. So yeah, it's tough when I watched these a few days ago, and I like, but yeah, it was very good. Did you notice? I have 2 notes. Did you notice Andy's blood is brown now because he's rotten?
That's funny.
It's like brown purplish, like it's spoiled blood.
Gotcha.
So that's cool. I also have a note that says, thought blue hair was gonna shoot the kids. Did you get that sense?
Shen? Yeah.
When she's talking to the kids in the sewer, it's so ominous for no reason.
Yeah.
And I really thought he was just gonna blast the kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're not spoiling yet, but don't worry. I'm gonna get rid of that problem for you.
That would have blown me away. That would have been
Would have blown them away.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of blowing for sure.
Oh yeah. American Middle School Simulator. Too soon? Too soon?
Too soon. It's never gonna be late enough.
That's fair
They
enough.
happen every week.
Yeah, it's literally there's not a big enough time like between our most recent school shooting. Yeah.
Too soon to which one?
Yeah.
Fucking yeah. It was pretty good. It was like it didn't revolutionize the show for me like episode 1 or I like the episode when they're like talking the book. For some reason that really I was like, ooh, okay, here we go.
Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Scale.
Yeah, I
Because
like
you're
that.
like, oh, there's quests.
Yeah.
We're like trying to fight God.
Yeah, I like that. I liked Spoil's form, like when he had the big hair and stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird because they establish anyone who gets close to him starts to disintegrate.
In his second form, yeah.
And then he's just like within kissing distance to Oopsie.
You're right. Yeah.
So then I was like, I guess it's his body, not his head. But like, still.
Yeah, that
Why
was
make
weird.
that a rule?
Yeah, because Andy's under him and he's just like decaying rapidly, and then she gets over there and like she just doesn't decay. I did find that odd as well. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with her unluck powers. I
think it's like maybe his head doesn't. Like maybe it's his heart. Like I'd buy that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's an easy enough descriptor.
Yeah.
Like instead of being like, oh yeah, the complexity of her unluck powers allowed, just be like, yeah, it's one part of her like his body that she wasn't.
Yeah,
That would be like Genitals Tommy would just take it into like a 3-chapter dialogue about how she's like too powerful to spoil or something like that, and then like somebody else would just be like, yeah, heart when go pump. Yeah, that goes spoil. Like that's easy. It's so easy.
Exactly. It's like glands in his like chest or whatever.
It's
like,
midichlorians.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Find the easiest solution that like isn't a chapter long explanation and go with that.
Yeah. But what are midichlorians?
How the Force works.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, because people were like, how does the Force work? And George Lucas was like, people love germs. And so he was like, some people have more germs.
Yeah.
And when they use those germs, they can use the Force. But some people got less germs. And those people, not samurai.
Oh, so they're
Jedi.
like little like organisms in you?
Oh, yeah.
Weird. So they're like, how big are they?
I don't. What are we building towards?
How
here?
big are they?
I know you're
Like-
I know you're building towards something here.
They're like small, right?
You're trying to trick me.
They're how big?
What are you trying to do here?
I'm not doing it.
Are you trying to tease nuts me?
No. I would never. What is it? Like a bunch of small like bugs running around in your body essentially?
They're
or
like microorganisms.
Oh, so they're not like bees or anything like that. Amen to that, brother.
You still have one in your mouth. How many are there? I genuinely think you have an infinite food source. Like if you told me you had a hive of bees living in there,
If you
that were
think
also,
I'm not queen bee, motherfucker.
if you told me you also had them packaging these, I'd believe you. I don't even want this.
I don't either.
My teeth are coated, Daniel. How are you functioning? I've only had 2.
I was like, I can't do a 5th. I gotta get rid of this thing. I gotta ditch this.
Your blood will be thick after this podcast. All right. So Undead Unluck was pretty good.
I have like nothing to say about it. Unless
Shangri-La.
Yeah, I didn't
Fine.
watch. Fine. God, I hate that show.
I'm okay dropping it. Honestly, it's
the last episode. The ambulance is coming.
Yeah, it's not on our street. I live somewhat close to a very active road.
The last episode like infuriated me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, nothing happens in the show already. You're gonna give me 12 minutes of a PowerPoint montage of him going through fights.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
I may drop it.
All right.
It's incredibly fine. I have no feelings towards it whatsoever. I thought it was going to be an isekai that broke all the rules. And it was like, oh wow, this isekai we're finally not pervy, and it's just so fucking boring. So Shangri-La, it's fine. I'm probably gonna keep watching it, but just don't expect
have
much
to talk
coverage
about it.
Yeah. Outside of that, Spy Family had another good, tense, funny episode.
Nice.
And I would like to get to my flashback because my flashback is huge news.
Is it? Go on. I won't guess.
Oh, it's gone.
Yo.
But it's about gone.
Oh, boy.
Because Togashi, the mangaka of Hunter x Hunter, released through a daytime television show the possible ending of JJK in case he fucking dies.
That's great. Can you imagine, like, a fucking mangaka being on, like, USA Today?
Yeah.
I can't believe they're on, like...
He didn't go. He wrote them a letter.
Oh, he's fucking in the hospital bed still where he lives?
Yeah, he wrote them a letter, and then they read it. Like, he was like,
Gotcha.
yeah, I'm not going to make a fucking television appearance. So he gives them a letter. They read it. That gets translated, goes to Twitter, gets to America eventually. So, by the way, this is a good caveat here. I've already done a video about this, but Togashi is 57 years old. You would think that the way he talks about his life, 80,
90,
85.
What is this debilitating someone needs to pop that disc back into his
That's
back.
my
Like,
thing,
what
man.
does he have?
I don't know. Like, I was like, spinal surgery exists, chiropractic exists. Like, I understand that people like can have like debilitating like injuries and like because of like monetary situations, they can't like get those fixed. Togashi is worth almost $250 million. Like, he is one of the richest mangakas of all time. He is fine. He could have a chiropractor at his house every single day. He could rip out a poor person's spine and put it into his back. Like, there's like, I understand debilitating issue, and like if he doesn't want to get fixed, that's fine. And like I'll never be the person to be like, well, can write the manga. Like, if he has health issues, that's fine. But like, I don't know. Like, he just like whenever he tries to like,
but we're curious.
but like genuinely, I'm curious about like how are we still affected by this? Like, you have so much goddamn money, but like maybe he doesn't want to get under the knife. Maybe he's like Bob Marley and he's gonna die of toe cancer. But 57 years old, currently planning for his death.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hayao Miyazaki, 82, being like, I'm making movies.
Hayao Miyazaki's over here getting ready for puberty to hit.
He's like, like people are actively trying to keep Hayao Miyazaki out of the like animating studio. They're like, please, you don't even have an idea. You just released the movie. It's doing very well. Fucking stop. And he's like, no, I don't want to. And meanwhile, Togashi's like 57. He's like, I don't know if I'll make it. And we're like, dude.
He's like, starts getting out of a chair and he's like, oh, that'd kill me. I'd be dead.
Oh, I just felt my second kidney fall out of my ass.
This is it. Yeah. Meanwhile, Hayao Miyazaki wakes up every morning in this order. Wakes up, puts on his mustache, smokes 2 cigarettes.
That's what I was gonna say. Makes a cup of ramen. He's like, let's get to fucking work.
And then he's like, they need Ponyo too.
They need Too Fast to Ponyo.
Too Ponyo.
Gotta get on this shit. Anyways, so
they need Ponyo back to Madagascar.
He's
just losing his mind.
I can't wait for the Hayao Miyazaki dementia era. The movies we're gonna get are gonna be wild.
I know.
So, anyways, well, like it kind of makes sense that he's like planning for like. Here's my thing with Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter is currently embarked on what will be its biggest and grandest adventure of all time. They are on a ship to like basically Hunter x Hunter's story as it currently stands. It was revealed that the entire world as we knew it was just in a lake. Are you shaking? Are you fucking shaking? I saw you vibrating. I saw you.
I got the honey shivers.
I looked at you and you're just like, you're fucking, we have to end this podcast
I
soon.
almost spit water.
Danny's about to fucking explode.
I took a drink. I got the honey shivers.
I looked at him. He just could not sit still. Danny, stop eating the honey, says Panda Mom. That's what listen, he's trying to get me hooked, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm so close to throwing up. I'm not joking. It's not a bit. I have eaten so much of this bee shit. Oh, whew. Amen to that, huh?
Are you out?
I'm out.
Oh, thank fuck. Holy shit.
Was 8 not enough?
We've been freed. We've been freed from the honey. All right. Anyways.
But yeah, like...
It's been revealed, Hunter x Hunter,
yeah.
the entire world is in a fucking lake. And like...
Well, spoilers for the maybe ending of Hunter x Hunter.
Nobody knows.
Well, but he says if he dies, this is canon.
Yeah.
This is the ending. So he goes, I have 4 endings.
Yes.
3 of which, I won't tell you, A, B, and C. D is canon if I die. Here's what D is.
Yes. But the problem is, currently, is like he revealed recently that like the entire world exists in this lake. And then everything outside of the lake is called the Dark Continent. Nobody can go there. If you go there, you die. Currently, all of the main characters, not named Gon and Killua, are on their way to the Dark Continent. So like every important character is currently going to the place that's going to possibly kill them all. And so like now currently like we're at this process of exploring what's going to be the biggest, most expansive arc in the history of Hunter x Hunter. Like Hunter x Hunter is 400 chapters long, and apparently we haven't scratched the surface of what the story could possibly unveil. So we're like, the problem with Togashi right now, and Hunter x Hunter, mind you, started in 1998. We're 26 years into Hunter x Hunter. So he's like, yeah, I can now kind of understand, like, as a 57-year-old, why he might be planning on his death, because there might be 400 chapters, like, remaining left in the story. And so now he's like, all right, if it's taken me 26 years, and for 13 of those years, I was way healthier than I currently am to do 400 chapters, another 26 years, I'll be 80. And like, there's no way, like with the debilitating back pain I have now as a 57-year-old, I'm going to be drawing when I'm 80. So what happened is, yes, Togashi revealed that he has 3 possible endings for Hunter x Hunter. Ending A, he says, in the most Togashi thing ever, because Togashi was Gegegatami before Gegegatami was Gegegatami. So Togashi was like, these 3 endings have varying levels of like
satisfaction rates.
Yeah, like desirability to the grander public. And he's like, so A, like ending A would be 80% approved, like with 20% being disapproved. Ending B, 50-50. Ending C would be 10% approval. 90, he's like, 90% of people would hate this ending, but this is the ending I want to do.
Yeah.
Which I was thinking, and I was like, the Hunter x Hunter fan base is so fucking ravenous. A, for an ending, and B, for an ending that Togashi writes and draws.
Yeah.
The only way I can think of an ending that Togashi would want that nobody else would is if the boat sinks. Is it like that? Is I was thinking about it and it was like, what would 10% of Hunter x Hunter fans like while 90% of them hate? And like I was like, and what would Togashi want? And it would absolutely be, oh no, an iceberg, and then everyone dies and he's like, story's done, fuck you, and then he retires.
Honestly, I'd be shocked if he doesn't go with that ending, because he's like, this is my favorite one, I'm planning to die soon, who cares? You know, like, just do it. Also, so I read, we'll get into what ending D was, I assume. I read, like, you know, what the ending was. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Fucking nonsense.
Nonsense, because I haven't seen this show. And so I don't know what's going on. I look in the comments. They're all like, man, talk about a mid-ending. Talk about the definition of, like, normal. If I was Togashi, in his circumstances, thinking I'm gonna die soon, like, giving people this ending in case I die, I would read a single one of those comments and then stop working on Hunter x Hunter forever.
You'd be like, oh, chapter 401? Never mind.
Yeah.
See you later.
Fuck those people. Or I would just whip up a doodle and be like, this is the end. 1 page. It's wrapped up.
Yeah, it's literally just, and it's the black whale like halfway in the water and just like Kurapika like literally drowning.
What?
Kurapika literally drowns. You haven't watched Hunter x Hunter, so you wouldn't know how important and how funny that would fucking be. But if Kurapika dies by drowning, oh my God, that would be so... There's a meme from Hunter x Hunter. It's like, Kurapika is now drowning in a pit of like...
Is he constantly drowning?
Yeah, well, it's like Kurapika... I forget exactly what happens to him, but like Kurapika, I think, finds like some of his like clansman's eyeballs or something. It's like, Kurapika is now drowning in an endless pit of despair. But if Kurapika actually fucking drowns... Holy shit, that would be hilarious. And I would be, here's the thing, I don't care how he ends the story. I just want him to end it. I will always be, regardless with what he does, in the 10%. If he sunk the ship, I would find that fucking hilarious. I would love that ending, which is a problem because I was like, damn, I feel like a lot of people would actually love that ending, ironically. And I was like, probably wouldn't be 10%. So I'm like, how do you get to a 10% approval rating on an ending? But anyways, the ending that was, he was like, ending D has been cut. It's not A, B, or C.
It'd be funny if he was like, because he was like, ending C is my favorite.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if ending C is he just stops.
Yeah, he's
like he just doesn't do it.
Ending C is that last chapter you read. You already know it. So ending D is like, he's like, this is the one that I don't want to be the ending. Which is why people being like, wow, talk about a mid-ending. He's like, yeah, motherfucker, this is the one he didn't want.
Read the thing.
Yeah, like, and so he was like, this is the ending I didn't want. This is the one that hit like the cutting room floor. And basically it's like Gon's grandchild, who's a girl, catches the Lord of the Lake, which is how Hunter x Hunter opens. That Gon catches the Lord of the Lake, which is like a fish.
He's in his like leaf.
Yeah, he's in his leaf like outfit, and he catches it's like a big fish with crab legs. Yeah. So Gon's granddaughter Jin catches it, and she shows it to her mom, and she's like, "Now you can't ever tell me to be a hunter. And so she's like, God damn it, I wanted you to be a hunter, which is crazy, which like might speak to like how the politics of the world have changed, because like being a hunter is terrifying. It's like a lot of them die. Like they get an insane amount of money and they go on adventures, but like a lot of them die. And so like the mom turns to Gon's son because the mom of Gon's grandmother isn't. What are we looking at?
Nothing.
We're just up here?
I was just sorry.
I thought that was a ghost. Oh, you looking at the Hunter x Hunter poster.
Yeah.
I love that. I can just point at the characters if you would like.
Well, I was just looking at it.
Yeah. So Gon's dad, so like the granddaughter's dad is Gon's son. And so like the mom turns to Gon's son, her husband, and is like, why are you and like our daughter like this? Why do you never want to leave Whale Island? Which is all Gon ever wanted to do. Gon wanted to leave Whale Island. He wanted to go be a hunter. He wanted to like go follow after his father, Jing. And he's like, he just kind of like smiles. He's like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, oh, is it because of like the blood of Aunt or Grandma Mito, who is Gon's mother, but not really. It's Gon's aunt, and then or Grandma Noko, who's Gon's wife, who was the only other child on the island. She's like this redheaded child who like kind of gets introduced in the beginning, and it's like, okay, apparently in this ending, Gon went back to Whale Island, settled down with Noko, had children. That child got married, had a child who doesn't want to be a hunter. So Jin, the granddaughter, brings the fish back to like their kind of house. And they cut up the fish, and she's like talking with her family, and she's like, I want to prepare this fish for the entire island. And they're talking about how she never wants to leave the island. And then apparently some chubby child, I was like, all of this has been roughly translated from Japanese. Apparently some chubby child kicks in the door with a plant and is like, oh, you caught the Lord of the Lake. Let's prepare it for the entire island. I brought a plant? I don't understand. I do not understand for the life of me what the fuck was going on there. And so they're like preparing it, and they're like, oh, wow, do I love this island? And then it's like a bird flies away from the cottage they're all living in, and it's like the grandchild of one. It's like a narrator, the grandchild of one, the daughter of another, the son of another. All of them exchanging smiles in different places. So it's like kind of implied that Gon had a grandchild, because like Jin, and then it's like the son of another, which would imply that either, like what people are thinking is like, this implies that the ending, it shows us like maybe Killua's son or Leorio's son or Kurapika's son or any of their daughters, because it's a grandchild, a daughter, and a son, which means there's 3 kids. And there's 4 original characters. Right. So it's like 3 of those 4 had children that went on to like go like live good lives and exchange smiles somewhere. And then as the bird flies away, you see a figure in the distance. And that figure in the distance is very obviously Grandpa Gon watching over his family, like cook everything. And basically the reason that Jin, his granddaughter, doesn't want to be a hunter is because Gon was like never around. Like he settled down with Noko, knocked her up, and then was just never around. So he was like, she's like, oh, you don't understand. Every time that Gon talks about his like adventuring time as a hunter, like Grandma Noko gets upset because like she was like, you left me here for months, if not years. I like cooked, had children, raised children all without you. So I want to stay on Whale Island. So I think what Togashi was trying to do with this ending is be like, hey, there's an adventure in everything. Like you can go and search for an adventure on the horizon, or you can live with those around you and live the adventure of life with them. Yeah. So I don't mind this ending. I don't think like this ending for Hunter x Hunter is like the worst thing I've ever heard. But like, I don't like there's so many yeah, it's a great ending. Now we know what happens with Gon, but we don't know what happens with Kurapika, Leorio, Killua. There's so many unanswered questions. Right. So I hope Togashi finishes the story, but like I am happy to know that like if he does kick it in 20 fucking years, because like Japanese men live longer than anybody else on Earth except for Japanese women. Yeah. Like that he'll like at least I'll know what'll happen with Gon. Yeah. What's crazy, 20 years from now, 25 years from now, when he actually does die, and I have to explain to my children who are fucking 18 that this is the ending of Hunter x Hunter and like show them a tweet, it's gonna be ridiculous. By that time, I'm assuming somebody will have animated it, thank God, but still.
That is weird. I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I got nothing.
You haven't read a single chapter, why would you?
I like the idea of that theme where it's like, I like highlighting like, what is it called? Got it. Yeah, I got honey on the brain.
Oh, you got honey on the everywhere.
I got the honey in the veins.
This is like our Lethal Company playthrough, which we have to shout out.
Yeah, we will. I like the idea of highlighting some of Gon's flaws with this ending, where it's like he was kind of a shitty dad and husband. Yeah. And that's cool.
Hell of an adventurer, though. Yeah, because they're like, oh, he's a legendary hunter.
Yeah. I like that. That's a cool, like, grounded ending. It's funny because I have this preconceived notion that Hunter x Hunter is outrageously boring. Just from everything I've seen. I've seen the first 7 episodes. They're not interesting.
I hate you so much.
And everything I see doesn't interest me. And then I see this ending and I'm like, oh, that's boring. Yeah.
Oh, and Scott Pilgrim, the story in the you don't get it. It's an e-boy gamer boy who gets his bisexual
But Nick, do you get it?
You just like Scott Pilgrim because he's you.
Do you get it though?
You like Scott Pilgrim because he's you. That's it.
That's it.
You're
You
just
got
like
me.
you're a gamer boy.
You got me.
And his bisexual. Sarah's not a bisexual, but
No.
God, oh God, does she get that a lot?
Boy, does she look like it.
Oh, she fucking fits the bill. Anyways, what's your flashback? And if you don't have one, boy, oh boy, do I have one for you.
Thanks. I'll take it.
Do you really?
Yeah.
There's a new ending of Attack on Titan coming.
Oh, I told you that.
You did. You
Yeah,
did.
I did.
made a video about it.
I
yeah.
do have a
Yeah.
flashback.
There we go.
There's new ending of Attack on Titan coming.
Yeah, there is.
Technically, kind of, not really, but technically.
Hey, no caveats.
It's fan art.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, there's a trailer. It's
Have you
called
read the manga?
No.
Oh,
It's called Attack on Titan Requiem.
There you go.
And it is a bunch of fans and ex-wit animators
Yeah.
who like actually worked on Attack on Titan. I don't know how this isn't a legal nightmare.
It will be eventually.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
But like, yeah, they're just making an alternate animated ending for Attack on Titan. Right now, it's 4 chapters into its manga. No? 3 chapters into its manga. And oh, look at that. And
You shaking? You're like an alcoholic who hasn't had a drink by noon.
hey, you gonna eat that honey?
All right, world of
No.
t-shirts, fucking take it.
No, but I'm not. But
Then you gotta break through. You gotta listen. You gotta get to the second level of consciousness.
but yeah, so new ending of Attack on Titan. How do you feel?
I've read the manga.
Yeah. It's not over, is it?
No,
Yeah.
no. So they're currently in the process of they're flying on Falco to go detonate Aaron's neck.
Gotcha.
It's way more focused on. So basically in this one, the biggest difference.
I won't.
You put that down.
I reached for the honey.
You put that.
For
you
our
put that,
audio-only
You
listeners.
put that down, good sir. So basically, the biggest difference is that there's no Aaron saw the future and is now a bad guy, but only because he wanted to make his friends look like good guys. It's Aaron saw the future, saw that there was only one future where the cycle of hatred was closed, and that was if he sacrificed the earth. So Aaron is the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron basically, after coming into contact with Historia, tries to keep coming into contact with Historia to see if there's a possible different future that he can find that's better. And so it's he's tried multiple different ways to identify the best possible future, but every future he sees, the cycle of hatred continues.
Mm-hmm.
So he's I try and save the things around me. He's I've tried to help the people around me, and helping them doesn't change the future. Doesn't change the future in any meaningful capacity.
Yeah.
Because Aaron is now looking at the future through scope. He's I don't care if we live or die. I want humanity and Paradise Island and war. He wants to end war, basically.
Yeah.
And so this focuses more on Aaron trudging towards a future that he doesn't necessarily like. He's not oh my God, I'm so stoked on genocide. But he's I've seen all possible futures. There's one where war stops. And it's if I sacrifice the world. And so Armin, instead of being oh, thanks for being a mass murderer for us, or thanks for showing me the freedom and all of that, Armin and everybody else who comes to kill Aaron is still there. It's it's two sides disagreeing. And so Armin and Aaron, instead of having a conversation and hanging out, and Aaron being no, I want Mikasa to pine over me, is evil. He's evil. He's not evil.
He's morally grind.
Yeah, he exists in the darker sections of gray, but he's seen a future with his abilities, and also this manga Requiem does a way better job at fleshing out in a non-plot hole way the powers of the Founding Titan, which is wild because it's not written by Isayama.
Yeah.
They've made more sense of the Founding Titan's abilities than Isayama, the creator of the manga.
That's so funny.
So it's not. It is better in some capacities, I'll say. If you want Aaron to be redeemed, then boy oh boy, stick to the original ending.
Yeah.
However, if you hated the flip-floppiness of Aaron being I'm a bad guy, but only because I want you guys to be good guys, and you'll remember this now, but you'll forget it once you leave the paths and all that.
But also, I wish I kissed Mikasa.
Yeah.
She's gonna leave.
If you want to cut all of that fucking fluff, then boy oh boy, is this the manga for you.
Yeah.
It is pretty good. Also, there's no him sipping over Mikasa. He knocks up Historia.
Oh,
He
crazy.
has a baby with Historia
Wow,
in this
crazy.
manga ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, so like
Wait,
that's,
so if it's not over, like how much left is there? Like where does it end chapter 3?
I like they're currently on their way to kill Eren. Like
Oh,
they're
then
on
how
their,
do you know all this?
because I've read it.
No, but I mean, like, if they're on all the shit you just said doesn't happens mid killing Eren.
Yeah.
If they're not even there yet. Hasn't happened in the
All of
manga
this
because
happens.
they're not there.
You know how Armin talks to Zeke and he like rallies all the like previous Titan shifters to like help
yeah, that's
them.
when they're already on.
The rewrite
Eren.
the rewrite starts at chapter 137. I should have said that.
Okay.
So everything that happens until chapter 137 happens in Attack on Titan Requiem, technically.
Gotcha.
So Attack on Titan Requiem is only a rewrite of chapters 137 through 139.5.
Right, but I'm saying Eren simping over Mikasa and doing all that happens after chapter 3 of Requiem.
No.
Yes. If they're not even at Eren yet by chapter
They're
3.
on his spine. They've already fought all of like the like
Oh, okay,
Titan
okay,
shifters. They've
gotcha.
killed the Okapi. Armin is free.
Yeah.
And now they're all on Falco's back, flying towards Eren's neck.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay.
like so, like they're all like they were on the rib cage.
Yeah,
they battled
yeah.
against everybody.
Gotcha, okay.
So they're flying towards Eren's neck currently at the end of chapter 3 of Requiem. So they're probably just gonna kill Eren, and then like I don't know where they're gonna go. But like the ending, I would say, is less plot holy. It sticks to the actual general themes of Attack on Titan. It makes Eren look like less of a bitch, and it probably will end with the cycle of hatred being like either the cycle of hatred will continue, and it'll be because Eren is like beaten,
Yeah.
or the cycle of hatred will be broken, and Eren will have known that he needed to die to end the cycle of hatred, or something. But like. What like we're heading in a direction that sticks to the themes. There's no flip-flopping. Eren is more of a consistent character. Armin is more of a consistent character. Like everybody sticks to their guns.
Yeah.
Like there's no like, oh, I'm the good guy, but I'm also the like that annoyed the ever-living shit out of me.
Yeah.
So as it currently stands, I really like it, and the animated trailer looks good.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like Wit Attack on Titan, which
Yeah.
is sick.
And like I don't think it's gonna look as good as Mappa's, like
Yeah.
slave-driven hour and a half
Yeah.
like finale we got for Attack on Titan, but it's probably still going to be pretty good.
I think it won't come out. Well, allegedly it comes out next year.
Yeah, it comes out fall 2024.
Yeah, like soon.
Considering the fact the manga is not done, that is an ambitious timeline.
Yeah, I was gonna say otherwise I wouldn't expect it to come out for like 5 years.
Here's my
like,
thing. So, did you have more?
No.
Okay, here's my thing. The legal nightmare of
Yeah,
releasing
true.
this.
Yeah.
My biggest thing, remember the Dragon Ball tail fucking fan thing where like Goku has like his Son Goku transformation?
Yeah.
Vegeta gets his arm cut off, all that, or no, Vegeta cuts Broly's arm off. I feel like that exists in the same vein as this. Where it's like a fan-made retelling of a key part of the story of a anime they enjoy.
I guess it would just need like I feel like they get a little more legal leeway because it looks so different and it is so different. Like it's so clearly. I don't know though. I guess I don't know anything about
Right?
law like that because it's not a parody.
It's not a parody. And also the biggest issue is faces and names.
Yeah.
Trademark wise. Like
Yeah.
you trademark like
Like-
appearances and names, and that's what they're going to be using.
Like they're calling this Attack on Titan Requiem. It's meant to look like Attack on Titan. Like the
Yeah.
Dragon Ball thing
It's also
is
just-
so clearly a different art style.
It's also made to sound like Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Like they show Aaron's voice actor, who's like a YouTube voice actor, sounds just like Aaron's voice actor.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a nightmare.
I think it won't be released on YouTube. I think it'll be like my current hypothesis would be like a Patreon thing.
Yeah.
Because Patreon is the way to get around copyright.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's on Patreon. It's not
Well,
publicly available
it's the way to get around it unless
you're going up directly against Mappa.
well no, I mean like unless like if I put up like just episodes of Pokemon, the only reason that's not getting taken down is because like Nintendo isn't sweeping Patreon.
Yeah.
If like coincidentally one of my fans was like a Pokemon employee, and they told Nintendo they could get it taken off Patreon.
Gotcha. So it's more
Like
about
Patreon-
the levels that you have to go through to get there.
Yeah, like Patreon's like, don't do copywritten content. Like it tells you not to, but it's
Gotcha.
like, who's looking?
Exactly.
Like,
They're like,
yeah.
don't do it, silly.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like, I'm just watching anime over
Yeah,
here. So I think that or they just won't make money on it.
Yeah.
I think that's like another thing. Is like if they put it up on YouTube, yeah, Mappa can copyright it. And then technically Mappa just makes money off those views. See, if I'm Mappa, that's what I do.
You could take it down though.
You absolutely could. But the thing is, technically, if you copyright, if like somebody uses your IP or your music or anything else on YouTube, you can copyright strike it and then just take the money that they make on that video.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
That's so the move.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Absolutely. Oh, you just put up, thanks for the paycheck that I did absolutely nothing for.
Yeah.
I think what they may be like banking on though is because the trailer got released now probably like 8 days ago. They may be banking on Mappa just not being around in a year. Like, they're just like, listen, with Japan cracking down on like what are called like black companies in Japan, like places that like abuse their workers and like force them to work like 100 hours with no overtime. Like that's been a recent thing happening with like the upcoming generation of workers like coming into Japan. With Japan cracking down on those, Mappa just might not be around.
True.
So
but
like,
Mappa doesn't own the rights. It's the whoever hired Mappa to do it.
Oh,
because
Toho.
that's why like
Toho and Suecia.
Yeah, it's not like Wit sold it to Mappa. Wit got fired.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They'll be around.
Yeah,
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They just have to make the money off it.
Yeah.
I want to fucking see it.
I know.
Put it up on Live Leak or something.
Yeah.
I'll watch it there.
It'd be so sick.
If it gets uploaded, it'll exist for perpetuity.
Yeah.
Like if anything's ever been put on the internet, it's there forever.
It'll stay, for sure.
I'll just like use my Onion browser. I'll go to Silk Road 8.0.
Yeah, go Silk Road,
I'll buy it
off
there.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely. My best boys this week are Boys Who Kiss Boys.
Why is that?
Because Tokyo Revenger officially has BL.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to the gays.
Wow, look at that.
Who are for some reason watching Tokyo Revengers, because there is 2 characters in Tokyo Revengers who we've kind of been focusing on this season.
Yeah.
And it's been revealed that one of them, his name's Kokonoi. He's really good at making money. Another one's named Inui. And so it's like
he's really good at taking money.
and he's like basically his sugar, like his sugared like baby. And so they go from like gang to gang and they make these gangs a bunch of money. And they just ended up in the Tokyo Manji gang. But like Kokonoi gets stolen to this other gang because they're like, we need you to make us money. And Inu is like trying to get him back. They're like fighting. He like grabs him by the hands. He pulls him close. And then Inui's like, I'm Inui, not Akane. And then they do this background thing where apparently Kokonoi was in love with Inui's older sister and they have the same face, but Akane dies in a fire. And so like there's like this weird flashback thing where Inu is walking around in heels.
Yeah.
And it's like Inu is walking around in heels. And I think it's technically supposed to be like, oh, this is how Kokonoi sees Inui as like an extension of Akane. But like he's walking around in heels, then he falls asleep on like a little like windowsill in a library. And Kokonoi just like there's like billowing like shades and like they blow up and Kokonoi's gone. And you see Kokonoi like right next to Inu and he like kisses him while he's asleep.
Whoa.
And then he's like, and then he immediately starts crying and the gay fear sets in and he's like, oh no.
Whoa.
So apparently, yeah, I don't know. I think Boys Who Kiss Boys might be a thing in Tokyo Revengers.
In bold for such a popular and huge show in
like
Japan.
a full-on BL kiss.
Yeah. Wow. That sounds cool. That sounds like well done and kind of spooky.
It is. And then I was like, all right. I was like watching it. I was like, okay, he's gay. And I was like, he's bisexual. He wants the sister. Any hole is the goal. Any face is the goal. It was very confusing.
Yeah.
But fucking BL and Tokyo Revengers. BL
Sounds
and
cool.
TR.
Sounds artsy and like well done. Interesting. My best boy.
We're just a sucker for boy love too.
Yeah, you know. My best boy is this new anime that just dropped on Crunchyroll. I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's like already got.
Foreign.
It's not
Foreign.
It is surprisingly not free.
It's a foreign. Which I got to episode 4 of very good. People were not lying.
Really?
Very good.
Even though it's episodic and slice of life.
It's actually not. Like it's like so they drop the episodes 4 at a time. It's like they drop the episodes once a month, 4 episodes at a time.
Whoa.
And it's like each episode is like each arc is 4 episodes long. So like after the 4th episode, you get into like the actual story.
Interesting. That's like Arcane. Arcane did that.
I guess. I don't.
Objectively, Arcane did that.
I have no idea.
But so I watched this new show. It's not a lot of people are talking about it, but it already has a sequel series confirmed and a prequel series. It's called Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Have you heard of this?
I haven't.
You haven't seen this?
No.
It's like it's a mixed bag because on one hand, it like compared to modern animation. It is dog shit when put up next to like Jujutsu Kaisen, like Demon Slayer, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not good. Very stiff animation.
Okay.
But
How's the voice acting?
it's good. I buy that it's children.
Okay.
They like the budget tanks when it comes to any adult character.
Gotcha.
So they do. I think it's like in a post-apocalyptic like AI kind of situation.
Is that why the trees look like that?
all of the, so you've seen like bits, like clips?
No, just the tree is notoriously very sad.
The tree?
Yeah. His Christmas tree.
Thanksgiving.
Oh.
That's the sequel coming out in December.
Oh, the sequel coming out. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
I was thinking ahead.
They have so it's about Charlie Brown, and they have a prequel series coming out at some point.
What would the prequel? Would that be Halloween?
The prequel series takes place during Halloween. It's
Gotcha.
When Charlie Brown's rival Linus takes on the Pumpkin King, and yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Does the pumpkin steal his blanket?
I don't know. It's not out.
Oh, it's not out.
I haven't read the manga.
I'm gonna figure that. Like,
I haven't read the manga.
They could bury that in the trailer at least a little bit.
I don't. It's an alleged thing. The fight scenes are pretty good. There's a bit where one of the characters, Snoopy, fights like a lawn chair demon. That's pretty good. There's some good choreography in there.
Nice.
It does.
I'm assuming it's like kind of like a big cloud, and you see the occasional fist coming out.
No, there's choreography.
Full on choreography.
That's not a bit.
Okay.
They fight. They box. So can I spoil a little of it?
Yeah, I think you could.
The opening sequence has one of the best twists I've seen in anime history.
Okay.
Because they spend so long establishing this Lucy character, this relationship between Charlie Brown and Lucy. And there's like some tension because she has this football and Charlie Brown.
I was about to make a joke about this, and I was like, I think this is where he's heading. I'm not going to ruin his setup.
And Charlie Brown is trepidatious she's going to put it down and they're going to do a kickoff.
Yeah.
He's trepidatious to kick it because Lucy is a morally gray character.
Yeah.
Who has like hurt him in the past, but they've been through a lot together. And she's like,
And he thinks that she's changed.
yeah,
He trusts her.
He trusts her.
Yeah.
And because she's like, Charlie Brown, the Thanksgiving tradition of Japan has its tradition during Thanksgiving, the football,
Play American football.
the football kickoff, the American football kickoff.
They do it all the time.
They do it all the time.
If you haven't been to Japan, you don't deserve an opinion on this matter.
And she's like, I come from a very honorable clan.
Yeah.
We do not fuck with tradition.
Yeah. We do calligraphy, tea, and kicking American footballs.
Yeah, she comes from a house of assassins, and they are very sworn to tradition. She's like, Charlie Brown, I swear to you, if you kick this football, it will be there by the time your
Like
foot
how
connects to
I'm
it.
there for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They hug. There's tension. They might kiss. I'm glad they don't because there's a lot of like lolly ism with it, but you kind of got to overlook.
You have to start asking the question, why is this show so popular?
Yeah, exactly. And so he takes a long wind up back. He walks like super far, starts
Probably because he trusts her so much.
trusts her a ton, starts hauling ass towards his football, and you're like, this kid's getting a win. This kid's a fucking blockhead. I can tell. But he's gonna get this win, and we're gonna establish this friendship right here. I won't say the C word.
Hey, no.
I won't say
it, King.
This fucking bitch.
Say it, King.
This fucking bitch.
Say it, King.
Swipes it out of the way. He goes sailing. He goes soaring up into the sky. Lands right on his back. Slip discs all over the goddamn place. He's crippled.
If that isn't a perfect encapsulation of dating women in 2023, you trust them.
Oh my God.
You put your
trust them?
life on the line for them.
And they take your goddamn balls away. That's what they do. That's what they do. Yeah.
Listen, you're not hanging out with the boys anymore because you're saying, oh, Lucy says, oh, we can kick it tonight. I'll hold your balls.
Yeah. I'll hold your
Before
balls.
you know it,
Yeah.
I said the wrong thing at dinner. Balls are gone.
Balls are gone.
Balls are gone. And now I'm not with the boys.
Next thing you know, you got a dog cooking your Thanksgiving dinner for some floozy down the street. Can't choose between you and her lesbian girlfriend.
And my best friend's obsessed with a blanket, and somehow Lucy, a character who just wiped out me, is stronger than the man who beat Luffy in a fight.
Yeah. It's fucked. It's all fucked.
All comes back to women in the end, man.
It's good though. It is interesting, but that was my best one.
I like that they already have a Charlie Brown greater universe setup.
Yeah, they have a universe.
Because what is it? What is an IP without a universe?
What's good about this manga is it is known for its twists. Like the whole setup is, this girl, Peppermint Patty, shows up and she's like, Charlie Brown, you are hosting my Thanksgiving. And he's like, bitch, I'm 11. I have a lot more to get through.
Please don't. Okay, keep going.
she's not.
I hate this bit so much. I thought the honey sticks were the only bit. All right, continue.
And he's like, bitch. That's what he says to her.
I've been burned before.
And he's like, I'm having a bad day, Patty. Don't fuck with me.
My full back is out.
And she keeps calling, and he's like, well, I can't be pulling this shit right now.
Yeah.
My parents are gone. And she's like, don't worry about it. It's cool. She hangs up, calls again. She's like, guess what? Franklin just walked in. Do you know Franklin? Me neither. He's just some fucking kid shows up. And he's like, I'm coming to this shit. I hear Charlie Brown's throwing a huge banger of a Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
I'll be there. Then she hangs up again. Linus shows up. Charlie Brown's like, hey, you got to help me out of this, man.
Yeah.
I got to figure something out. Linus is like, why don't you just explain to her you can't throw Thanksgiving? And he's like, are you fucking nuts? You don't fuck with Peppermint Patty.
Do you know how high on the social ladder Peppermint motherfucking Patty is?
You know how fucking cool this girl is? It's like 1973 and she's openly gay. Do you know
how many people get away with this? We killed a dude last week for this.
I beat a kid with my Halloween rocks for being gay. So Snoopy, I'll wrap up.
Yeah.
Snoopy is the one who does the Thanksgiving dinner for them, which is like unbelievably cool of this dog. He gets no thanks.
Nope.
She's livid. It's jelly beans. It's toast. It's popcorn. It is not what she's come to expect.
There's also a dog, Peppermint Patty.
She is furious. She is pissed. Yeah. And then Charlie Brown's like, hey, mate, fucking give me a break here. Yeah. I got my dog slaving away on this shit.
He handmade jelly beans, bitch.
I've torn all the hair off of my head stressing about this day.
I'm 11 and bald.
I'm bald. I'm clinically depressed.
No, I can't kick a ball to save my life.
Yeah, like, you gotta cut me some goddamn slack.
Yeah.
She does. They go to his grandmother's for a real Thanksgiving. It's a good time. Big twist ending. Huge twist ending. Snoopy goes into his little doghouse, pulls out a fucking pristine mint cooked turkey for him and Woodstock to enjoy. He's had a turkey the whole time. He was holding back on this bitch for being a bitch.
Wow.
Whew. That's my best part.
Wow.
You let me do so much of that.
I never listen. After the 5 minutes of soliloquies bit, I'm resolute to never stop you.
Yeah.
That was incredible. Thank you for doing that.
I'm glad you laughed finally. I got like 6 minutes into this bit and I was like, this is floundering. This is not killing the way I thought it would.
Bombing. All right, that brings us, ladies and gentlemen, to our favorite section of today's video, which would be love letters, which is the part where the live audience gets to ask me and Daniel a question, and we answer it. So if you guys want to watch the podcast live, like 49 incredible people are currently watching us live right now, and ask us questions, then you can become a YouTube member for either $4.99 or $5.99 a month. And we got big news, ladies and gentlemen, huge news. We've created a Patreon, and me and Danny have already filmed 2 additional hour-long videos that are going to be put on that Patreon or on YouTube members.
Yep.
Because it'll be available both for Patreon and YouTube members.
So if you're here as a YouTube member, this content's already coming to you.
Which means you get 2 additional hours at least of extra content a month from me and Danny, either doing playthroughs, additional podcasts, things like that, little BTSs, things like that. We just played 2 full hours of Lethal Company, some of the funniest gaming I've ever done in my entire life.
It was funny. I didn't expect it to be that fun.
It was so much goddamn fun.
Yeah.
And so we died in hilarious ways. Danny sunk into sand, he drowned in quicksand.
Relax.
We stepped on mines.
Yeah.
I threw myself off cliffs. Like, genuinely, if you want to belly laugh and if you love me and Danny's content at all, I would highly, highly, highly recommend either becoming a Patreon member or a YouTube member so you can get some extra content and hang out with us. Anyways, it's love letter time. Danny, what do we got? So we're actually going to be doing 2 love letters here. One, because one isn't really a question. It's just kind of me and Danny stating our opinions. But one of our lovely chatters was nice enough to send us $20. So we're going to answer. And it was a good question to begin with. And it's actually something that me and Danny have never discussed, which is odd. So One of our lovely chatters, who chat doesn't seem to remember, but possibly named Ian or possibly named Poet, said, Danny and Nick, what are your top 5 favorite anime of all time?
You have yours?
I absolutely have mine.
Hit me.
So I'll go 1 to 5 super quick. So number 1, Hunter x Hunter.
All right.
Greatest anime and possibly manga ever written. No plot holes. Love Gon, love Killua. The character development arcs are fantastic. I like Gon way more than your standard, anime talking head. Second, Naruto. It pays my bills. It's also very good. The fights are incredible. The character development's good. Kind of lacking sometimes in the bad guy category. I love Danzo, I love Nagato, Madara. Some of the other filler villains aren't fantastic, but how can you argue with the greatness that is Naruto? Third up, Assassination Classroom.
Wow.
Wow. Most people will say that's way too high.
What a curveball.
It holds a massive place in my heart. I love Nagisa. I love Karma. I love Koro Sensei. The ending every single time destroys me. So I've rewatched it a bunch of times. I love it. Another curveball here. Angel Beats at number 4.
Wow.
Angel Beats. I watched it. Here's the thing. Definitely a nostalgia pick there. I watched it. I watched Angel Beats when I was like 17. Newish to anime. It hit me in the right spot. The comedy is spot on. It's 12 episodes. It wraps up quickly. The ending lasts 3 episodes. Super sincere. Super cute. It's a good twist. Like they're all in heaven. They're all in like limbo trying to ascend to heaven. They need to complete like lingering desires that they have. I love that. And then last up, newest edition, JJK.
Yeah.
Listen, season 2 has been probably the greatest season of anime I've ever watched. I loved season 1. You didn't. I loved it. You can't argue. I would put the first 43 episodes of JJK up against any 43 episodes in any anime ever. And genuinely, I'm taking JJK in that argument almost every single time.
Wow.
Number 6, honorary pick, One Piece, though. It's close.
Nice. That's where, so it's the number of episodes that like has me wishy-washing because I'm like, yes, some of these are really good. Like Chainsaw Man is an honorable mention for me.
Yeah.
Because I think give Chainsaw Man one more season, it may dethrone Demon Slayer for me.
Gotcha.
But mine are in no specific order, but like the ones I say first are higher than the ones I'll say last.
Gotcha.
I just haven't ordered them specifically. Up first, Wonder Egg Priority. I think this show is unbelievably slept on.
Deserved a second season like no other anime I've ever seen and didn't get one.
Astonishing animation. Like
so pretty.
When every show had like animation this good.
You haven't seen Madoka Magica Puella Magi, have you?
No.
You really should.
Yeah.
It's Wonder Egg Priority if it got finished.
Wonder Egg Priority tackles such great themes in such a like mature and strong way. It's got like the characters are unbelievably like well written and relatable. It's just so good. It's like it has everything. I've seen the first episode like a dozen times. I think it's a perfect first episode.
Yeah.
Up next, I have Death Note because out of everything on this list, I could watch any episode of Death Note at any moment and just like not be like, oh, I'll skip it, or like it's the only one. Like all of the others, I'm like, I'll just get to the fucking fights. Whatever.
I would rally against that a little bit. I would watch any episode that includes L.
I'd watch any episode pre
L's
they
death.
Stop including L.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, it doesn't need L. Like, I love Light. I love Ryuk. I love all that. I can watch any of them. It's my most rewatchable anime. Up next is Full Metal Alchemist. Brotherhood.
I can't believe I didn't put FMAP in there.
It's just so good. But that, like...
It is. It's just it's objectively perfect.
Its momentum and pacing is perfect. It's incredible. Tons of great characters. Tons of great fights. But, like... This will be the case with all of these. If someone's just like watching Full Metal Alchemist and it's a random episode in the middle, I'd be like, let's put on something I haven't seen.
If you get to like the animal, the rhino
if
arc,
it's just Ed fighting like a man who's a lion, get to a lust fight or something.
The heights are incredibly high in FMAB. There's really no low lows, but like there's definitely a couple episodes. It's a 60 episode anime.
Yeah.
So there's a couple episodes in there where you're like, all right.
It's a great journey from beginning to end because it's so built on intrigue.
Yeah.
Like every episode, it like asks me a question and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like what's next? What are the answers?
Yeah.
So going back to when like I didn't have the answers but do now, I'm like, it's this. Go to a fucking different
Yeah, fucking move on.
It's a 10 out of 10 for sure. But yeah. Then I have Naruto. almost strictly for like nostalgia.
Yeah.
I do love Naruto. It's an imperfect anime, too much filler.
Yeah.
Great story, great characters, blah, blah, blah.
Filler in the wrong way too.
Yeah.
Like filler definitely in the wrong way because like
Just
they'll
fluff.
do 30 seconds of like canon material that you have to watch, and then it's 12 minutes of filler, and then it's like 30. So like it's really hard to skip the filler in Naruto.
Yeah. I have Demon Slayer as like my final pick. It just like borderline got me into anime as hard as I am into anime. Like Mugen Train's so good, season 2 is so good. Even when it's not good, like even season 3 and season 1 are better than some other anime's best seasons.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's just so passionate. It's so great. My honorable mention, other than Chainsaw Man, because I think one more season of Chainsaw Man, it dethrones Demon Slayer if it's as good as season 1.
If we ever get one more season of Chainsaw Man.
If it ever happens. Honorable mention, Skate the Infinity. Also borderline a perfect season.
Yeah.
Like every episode's so engaging. Animation's great. Writing's great. Crazy twists sometimes. Have you seen it?
No.
Crazy skateboarding related twists that you wouldn't expect.
I mean, like a Mick twist.
A mid twist?
A Mick twist.
Oh, Mick twist.
It's a
for sure.
skateboarding.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you know.
I know.
You
Rob
learned.
Dyrdek.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is.
Love
That's
that.
my list.
Cool. We'll get to our second love letter here. So for our second question, Poet asks, with all the anime that are currently out, if you had never watched any anime, what would you want to be your starter anime?
I think Chainsaw Man's a really good one, but I think I need someone to be like, get to episode 5.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say Demon Slayer, but I think Demon Slayer is too slow in the first season.
See, here's my thing. I understand if somebody were to say Demon Slayer, because here's the thing. I feel like with anime, you should start formulaic and work your way towards. I mean, obviously, you have a film degree and all that. So, like, you enjoy the more, like, fringe, artistic, like, you know, like, beautiful, engaging, motion-based things. But, like, for me, if I was restarting my anime journey, I would want something incredibly formulaic. And Chainsaw Man is not that.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, oh, what is going. Why does he want to touch boobs?
True. You wouldn't.
Like,
be like it's subverting a trope.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to understand the trope before I got to the subversion of it. So I would say, and this is such a basic answer, but like, I gotta say, like, probably JJK, because JJK is kind of what I started with Naruto. I like JJK and Naruto have a similarity. JJK is closer to Bleach than it is to Naruto, but like, formulaic, done well, great fights, drag you in, and JJK subverts a lot of especially now in the manga, like things that you would not have seen happening. Like it is broken out of the formula almost entirely. It has created its own formula.
Yeah.
Like now every other manga for the next 10, 20 years is gonna be basing itself off the JJK formula because it's so vastly popular. But if I'm coming into anime now in this new era of formula, I want to know what the formula is so I can know what to expect and move on from there and break out of it in things like Chainsaw Man or what was that one that I liked with the crabs and the mushrooms?
Tokyo Bisco or whatever.
No, Sabuki Bisco.
Sabuki
Things like
Bisco.
that. I want to know the new gen formula before I break out of it.
I think JJK is so not a beginner's anime. Like,
Because it's so complicated?
No, not even. I think it's too boring. I think it's weird and I think it's boring.
We have wildly different takes on JJK.
I think it's weird and boring season 1. Like, I think if...
Like to remind you, top 3 anime for me, Angel Beats. Top 4. So, yeah, like
But I mean, right, okay. You meet somebody. You meet one of, like, Dorothy's friends who's never seen anime before.
Fuck, I didn't even put 86 in there.
I know, I thought about it.
Oh,
I thought you
86. I love 86.
You meet one of Dorothy's friends who, like, I'll even throw you a bone, it's a male.
Okay.
So they're predisposed to like fights. You meet one of Dorothy's friends and they're like, I want to get into anime, but I don't know what one would be into it. Or you're like, you should get into anime. Here's the one. I feel like if you show them Jujutsu Kaisen, you're going to have to keep badgering them to keep watching it. I don't think Jujutsu Kaisen is a good beginner one. I think you're going to have to keep...
I just don't agree with you there.
I think you're going to have to be like, it gets crazy season 2.
Season 1 was so well publicly received.
I think it's so... I don't know if it's like a good new one. And I think I changed my answer. I think Attack on Titan's the perfect beginner anime of this generation. Because it's so not...
It's not anime.
It's anime in that, like, they do the screams, there's fights, it's, like, hyper intense, it's hyper emotion, but it's borderline, like, a survival horror. So, like...
But I would reckon more people watch just Attack on Titan than people who watch Attack on Titan and like other anime.
You don't think it's a gateway anime?
I don't think Attack on Titan is a gateway anime.
I think it is enough, and I know I've said it's not. But now that we've like laid out the other possibilities, I think JJK is weird because it's like, I think people are going to be like, this is too goofy. This is like, what, like, there's a panda, like, this is whack.
The 3 goats of gateway anime of all time.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Demon Slayer.
For children.
I guess.
We were all kids when we got into it.
I have so many friends who only watch Attack on Titan. And like a lot of people in the anime community watch Attack on Titan because it's objectively pretty good.
But now it's over. I think maybe we'll see a great migration.
But to what? If you like Attack on Titan, what else do you watch?
Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man. I think the other big ones. Like Jujutsu Kaisen is a great one after a beginner anime.
But the thing is, Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer, massively different stories.
But they're anime.
But that's the thing.
It's a medium. It's like, it's not a genre. Like, it's not like, oh, you like Saw, watch Hostel. It's, oh, you saw Finding Nemo and you like movies. Here's another movie in general.
Here's Ponyo.
You could be like, here's Ponyo.
Yeah.
But like, no, you could be like a live action kids movie. Like, that's the difference.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Attack on Titan doesn't translate well to other enjoyments of anime.
I don't think JJK is so weird as an intro anime.
I started with Naruto and Sword Art Online, and then I watched High School DxD.
But you were a child.
I was 17. I was 8 when I started watching Naruto.
There you go.
I guess.
So you didn't start with High School DxD.
I got there eventually.
You started 8 years after.
High School DxD was the 3rd anime I ever watched.
9 years after watching anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, I didn't finish Naruto until I turned 16. I watched it at night on Adult Swim, I think I got to the Sasuke retrieval arc, dropped it because my friend was like, anime's weird, and then I didn't pick anime back up until I turned 16.
You have Dorothy's mom, and you have to convince her to watch an anime.
Yeah. Me and Jenny just chilling.
Yeah.
Love that.
And a mom's a bad example. Someone your age, but all of your friends watch anime.
Not true.
Yeah.
Not true at all.
Who doesn't that I know?
Who doesn't watch anime that we know?
Yeah.
Rodney.
Really?
Yeah, Rodney does watch anime.
What's an anime you suggest, Rodney?
He likes weird things. I honestly, this is going to sound racial, but I feel like he would enjoy Afro Samurai. Because he likes...
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think that's that. I feel like it is racial, but it is fair to be like, oh, here's one of the few black protagonists.
I know he likes Boondocks a lot,
Yeah.
so I was like trying to think of like an animated TV show that I know he likes. And people think of Boondocks like an American anime.
But Black Samurai's like a good one for anyone to be like, because it's like pretty grounded. It's just a samurai. It's just an action one.
Yeah.
It's not like a weird fucking, here's a bunch of crazy power systems and pandas are real for no reason. Real. Humans.
I don't know.
Panda speak.
I guess. I don't think Attack on Titan for me is an intro anime.
Gotcha.
I think it's a thing that it's like your one friend who doesn't watch anime, when you tell them what you do, they're like, oh, I watch Attack on Titan. And it's like, yeah, but you watch nothing else.
I guess we tackled it different, where you're like the one I'd want someone to show me first, and I'm like the one most likely to get me into anime.
Yeah. And the one most likely to get me into anime, JJK. Because that's what Naruto did, and Naruto and JJK are vaguely similar.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Not My Hero?
No.
Because it's just Naruto?
Because it's just Sky High.
But it's Naruto Sky High.
It's Sky High.
It's the same as Naruto.
Listen, I loved Sky High.
Yeah.
Sky High introduced me to what was her name? Who's the love?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead?
I had a big crush on her growing up.
Yeah.
Big.
She's in Scott Pilgrim.
I know.
Yeah.
And in Scott Pilgrim again.
Yeah, she's hot.
also married to Ewan McGregor.
Good for her.
Isn't that wild?
What a pull for both of them.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah.
All right. And that's all we have, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. That was our pulp culture hour, I guess. Make sure you guys follow us on all of the other socials. Make sure, if you want extra content, 2 extra videos a month, either join the Patreon if that's easier, or become a YouTube member. But if you do become a YouTube member, that means you get access to the live broadcast as well. Unfortunately, we have absolutely no idea how to live broadcast to Patreon and YouTube simultaneously. So, I guess there is technically more to the YouTube membership than there is Patreon. But we wanted to give you guys as many possible avenues as possible. Outside of that, follow the TikTok, follow the Instagram, follow me, and I'm NCHammer23, also known as the Weeb Commander, and Daniel.
I am
Honey Boy.
I'm Honey Boy. I am Queen Bee, and I will be addressed as such.
Bingo.
Also Danny Motta. Also DMott3. No, DMotta3 on TikTok
I love
and
that even you don't
such. I think you can just look up Danny Motta on everything, honestly, and I'll be there.
You're the only one.
Yeah. I'm the only like big one.
Another
I'm
OG.
a big guy.
Huge.
I'm a huge.
Somebody. Oh my god.
I'm a huge honey sucking guy.
Before we
baby.
ended the show, somebody was like on TikTok. Somebody was like, "Isn't Nick 5'4"? How tall is Danny?" And I was like, "Nick is 5'8", and Danny is like 5'8.5".
I'm a big guy.
You're massive.
I'm huge. I'm a honey sucking boy.
Neither of us are big. I'm bigger than him. Wide wise, he's slightly taller than me.
I'm bigger than you height wise, baby. I'm big in honey. I'm big in honey stocks.
Oh, you are in honey stocks. Honey stocks are booming. But that's all
I'm
we
a
got, ladies and
giant.
gentlemen. Bye. We love you. Mwah.
And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the classics.